Good morning. Welcome in. This update presented by Dairy Queen. Starting off with the Padres. They get a win last night at home over the Reds 6-4. Manny Machado coming through with the bases loaded double early on. The bullpen holds the lead. Day game today against the Reds in the rubber match of the series. Joey Musgrove on the mound for the Pods. Sticking with baseball, often injured Angels superstar Mike Trout. He's got another one. He needs to get surgery on a torn meniscus. He's going to miss most of the year. NBA playoffs last night. Sixers survive in overtime with a 112-106 win over the Knicks. Knicks lead the series 3-2. Cleveland takes a 3-2 series lead over the Magic with a 104-103 win. Bucks keep their series alive with a 115-92 win over the Pacers. Indiana leads 3-2. Hey, DQ fans, cool off with their new summer blizzard treat menu. Try new picnic peach cobbler or snag a perfect beach treat like their new peanut butter cookie dough party. That sounds good. The new summer blizzard treat menu is one you won't want to miss. Only at participating DQ locations. Happy tastes good.
It's Big Rich, TD, and Fletch on San Diego Sports 760.
Jason Kelce was a People Magazine Sexiest Man of the Year finalist.
And with your ass, you couldn't be?
Oh, my God.
I appreciate you saying that.
Great ass.
I mean, I wasn't considered. Maybe I should grow out my beard.
Well, hold on.
I've been telling you that.
Were you not considered because they didn't realize that you existed? I mean, should we send in letters?
You know what? This is my complaint about the Hall of Fame committee also. I don't know if the voters in Canton know that I've actually retired.
Now, here are the guys.
Good morning and happy Wednesday to those who celebrate Big Rich, TD, and Fletch to you. And gosh, can you feel it? It's coming. They call it a win streak. All we need is 2 more wins for these San Diego Padres.
You didn't wish anyone a happy hump day.
Oh, I didn't. And a happy hump day to you all.
Mike.
Yeah. We're doing it on a Wednesday. We've got a really special Wednesday actually coming up. We're going to be checking in on our very, very good friend, Kevin Acee. He's jumping on the show in a little bit. I say good friend, best friend. He's the best friend of this show.
He said, I love you guys.
He did say that. Yeah. And it almost got missed, but we celebrated.
Yeah, we did. We had cake.
That will be coming up on the interview today. So Padres insider Kevin Acee covers the beat for the Padres for about, I don't know, it must have been a week-long stretch there. The articles coming out from emanating from the fingertips of the pen tops from Kevin Acee, they were getting darker and darker and darker. And then all of a sudden, like the silver lining of the gray cloud, you have this explosion of runs in the 5th inning. The Padres, it feels like everything's fixed, guys.
Yep, done. All right. How about the Lakers? Oh, no. Yeah. I mean, it's good. It's good to stop the bleeding here. You lose 5 in a row. It's nice to see a win on the board. That's all good. It's kind of a prove it feeling to me, though. Like, you got to do it again and then again and again. So, I mean, now the Padres, if I'm just trying to step back as a fan and look at this, I'm rooting for you guys, but I'm kind of feeling like I don't trust you here. I don't trust that you're going to continue.
And today feels really important, right? Because last night was fun. And Manny Machado gets the bases loaded double. It's right after Mike Schilt makes a decision to actually take a run off the board for the Padres on a weird catcher interference play and leave the bases loaded for Manny Machado. And he comes through in it. And maybe that's something like, oh, hey, manager, skipper, he trusts me and I'm coming through for him. I can do this over and over again. Maybe that's a great thing for Manny Machado and that springboards him. I hope it does. But today feels important because if you lose today, it kind of wipes out that nice feeling that we had from yesterday, right? So you get a day game at Petco Park after you've been pretty good in day games. Night games, you've been awful. That was only their 2nd win of a home night game all year.
Wait, is that real? That's
yeah. It shocked me too when Darnay Tripp put that out yesterday. I was like, is that accurate? But it is.
Yeah.
That's their 2nd win in a night game at home all season long. And so you look at today and it feels like it's kind of a situation where if you want to get any sort of momentum going, you got to win. You got to take the series from the Reds.
Well, the only way to get a streak, like I said, is 2 more wins. And we're in pre-streak mode. And so that's an important designation. Like if we want to, I don't know, get anywhere near a 500 record right now, you've got to win a bunch of games in a row here for the Padres. And we were talking about this yesterday. Like, the reason why this slide needed to stop immediately is because you're digging too deep of a hole for a team like this to dig themselves out of. You've seen what it looks like. It's not good. If the Padres get a little downtrodden, this is a team that's capable of taking a turn for the worst. Now, the question is, are they capable of taking a turn for the better? We don't know yet. They've gone on a long losing streak. Are they capable of going on a long winning streak? Now, I guess that's all subjective too. What do you consider designate as long? What do you consider as short? Some people say,
2.5 inches.
Yeah. I mean, some people say that's actually really long. Like,
super impressive.
Yeah. Really, really long. But some people say, well, no, it's not enough. Some people say it's not even close to enough. Here's the deal. I think that it's nice. No. Here's the deal. I think that it's a team that needs to figure out who they want to be this season.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's a lot of teams who are just getting their teeth sunk into the season. It's only May 1st. It's not all that important what happens in May, except for the fact that if this continues, if it follows you, like we saw the Padres continue and become what they were in May throughout the season, it can be a disaster. So are they going to be the team that loses 5 games straight and then win a game and then go back on a skid? Or are they going to be a game that has a little gumption, a little intestinal fortitude, and can fight off the mat a little bit?
Well, and to your point that you'd been making, the Padres, if they just play 500 baseball all year till they get to the end and then go on a run, the last 10, 15 games, they're in the postseason. Well, the problem is you get down 4 games from 500. You get down 5 games from 500. Now you got to play better than 500 baseball. Now you're playing catch up. So if mediocrity is the standard here, that where you're trying to meet just until you get to the end to have your big run, you can't get far behind because you'll be playing catch up. And that's something they're not great at.
They're not great at it in actual games. They're not great at it over a course of a season. And I don't think that's the way to handle this at all. I think their only shot to get into the postseason is if they maintain a pace of like 3 or 4 games over 500 throughout the year and then have that run, because I think it might be tougher to get in this year than it was last year. Something we weren't able to do at all yesterday was Padres positives, even though we tried. Most of them turned to negatives real quick. How about you, Darvish, yesterday? Coming off the IL, 5 innings, scoreless, looked great, had a ton of movement on his ball. He was on a pitch count, so I think he was around 70 pitches. Movement on his ball, how could you possibly construe that as dirty?
Oh, he's a pitcher.
Yeah.
You said it, not us.
He looked really great last night, so congrats to you, Darvish, for coming off the IL and doing that. And then Manny Machado, I mentioned it, but it was a weird situation where the Padres actually scored a run, but it was catcher's interference, so Mike Schultz had the opportunity to leave the double play as it lied and put 2 outs on the board, but have the run in, which I probably would have done, knowing this team's inability to score runs, or put the bases loaded and leave it for Manny Machado, and here's what he did.
Driven to the gap in left center field for Manny Machado. That's down. From third comes Wade. Here comes Fernando. They may clear the bases. Here comes Cronenworth. He'll score. 4-0 Padres. Machado clears the bases.
Now, I know this is being built up as like, wow, Mike Schultz really has got a lot of faith in Manny Machado. But I forget who I was reading yesterday. If you look at the numbers actually support the decision he made. And so this isn't one of those things where it's like, the numbers be damned, those analytics nerds be damned, throw away the stat book. I'm going to go with my guy and my gut, Manny Machado. Like, no, this is what he's supposed to do.
Right. But what would you have done?
You have
I would have taken the run.
I would ask 2 questions. I would say, it's almost like blackjack. What does the book say I should do here? Well, okay, if it's really honestly like a win-win for me, well, then I'm going to go with the thing that makes the most sense for the clubhouse, which is trusting Manny Machado. Because when the numbers support trusting Manny Machado, I'm going to trust Manny Machado. That's what Mike Schultz did. So, look, don't get me wrong. Mike Schultz, I think, is a nice guy. I think he sounds like a guy who does a nice job from a leadership standpoint of instilling confidence in his players and this team. But let's not get ahead of our skis here and sit here and be like, Mike Schultz made this controversial call. Yes, it's rare that catcher's interference is overturned because usually when there's catcher's interference, it means that a run's scoring. Mm-hmm. So I understand the fact that it doesn't often happen. But in this situation where you could put Machado, there's no outs on the board. You can put Machado up with the bases loaded with 1 out in the 5th with a 1-0 lead. Yeah, if the numbers support it, and that's Manny friggin' Machado, I'm going to put him at home plate and see what happens.
Yeah, and it's if it works out, it's not only good for the team, but it is good for Manny. I mean, so get your head right here. So if you can get a couple of those for Manny Machado, and all of a sudden the wheel starts turning again, man, that motor starts cranking, and he turns into Manny mode, that's all good.
The more controversial decision would be if he didn't. It would mean that he doesn't trust Manny. Because
isn't that kind of the situation you would have thought would have happened?
No, because the analytics doesn't support it.
I get
it's a better decision to put Manny out there per the book. Like, I'll find the article.
I get it, but sometimes you go book be damned, right? Like in the NFL, like sometimes it says, all right, you're better off going for it here on 4th and 1. But if your team isn't moving the ball, then you're not going to go.
Yeah, but you still have the lead.
Correct.
So in this situation, it
was a 1-0 lead.
Yeah,
and I get all that, but you had an opportunity to make it a 2-0.
You would have a 2-0. Yes, you would have a 2-0 lead.
I'm pretty okay with just taking that run and going into the next inning and hoping the bullpen holds up. Now, coming out of this, like Mike Schilt looks like he was on the right side, and the numbers, whatever. That's fine.
Okay,
I'm saying if most of the Padres fans, if I was sitting in the skipper seat at that point, I'm taking that run.
But even with the bases loaded, you have Manny Machado up. You hit a single. Okay. And it's still 2-0.
A double play.
So it's Fangraphs.
And you're out of the inning.
The run expectancy matrix supports Schilt's decision. Okay. So with the bases loaded and 1 out, a team is expected to score 1.5 runs in an inning. With a man on second and 2 outs, a team is expected to score 0.3 runs per inning. In addition to the 1 the Padres had already scored, meaning an average of 1.3. So, of course, the run expectancy matrix doesn't account for the fact that Manny Machado is one of the best hitters in baseball. It's the 5th inning. You have a starter out there who's beginning to tire, second time through the lineup. So there's a lot of also variables that benefit Mike Schilt's decision. So, no, if I was in Mike Schilt's situation, I would have done the same exact thing. It's one of those, it would actually be a lose-lose if you do it the other way, because not only are the numbers against you, but also the fact that Machado was due up with the bases loaded then, and you said, no, I'll take the 2-run lead. So it would be, Mike Schilt made the only decision he could make. So I'm not going to sit here and
That's not true. Because go alternate universe real quick. Say Manny Machado grounds into a double play. Mike Schilt looks like an idiot.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, and you can say, oh, well, the numbers backed up my decision. But at that point, everyone would be saying, go with your gut. It would be a very different conversation we're having right now.
I don't think Mike Schilt would look like an idiot.
I don't think he would at all. I mean, no, even if
a run got taken off the board for the Padres in a tight game, and because Manny Machado hit into a double play when you already had a run in, no, runs are worth a lot, man.
Yeah. But again, like, it's Manny Machado with the bases loaded. I see, like, we're looking at this very differently. To me, it was legitimately the only decision he can make for a bunch of different reasons. First and foremost, it's April 30th. So really, who gives a damn? Like, I mean, it's one game in April. What, you're going to put your foot down and say, I can't trust Manny in April? Well, if you can't trust Manny in April, what the hell is he doing here? Like, I mean, if you're going to be a manager who's going to go with the security of a 2-run lead instead of giving Manny on April 30th a bases loaded moment when he's not off to a great start, then you should be handed your walking papers immediately. Mike Schilt made the only decision Mike Schilt should have been made, or he could have made. And so I look at this situation through the lens of good for Manny coming up clutch in that moment. Good for Mike Schilt making the only decision he could have made, but making that decision, because what Manny said post game is, well, that's Schilty. You know, he goes, the guy trusts me. You know, he's just out here putting his faith and confidence in this clubhouse, and there it goes. It pays off, and they win the game. So all of a sudden, Manny Machado walks out of there feeling a little bravado, which is perfect.
And I think it just depends on how you want to spin this, to be quite honest, because if you want to make it Schilte's decision, which it was, I mean, as far as taking the run off the board, then you give credit to Schilte for making that decision because Manny Machado came up clutch. But then you have to give credit to Manny Machado for coming up clutch. And then if it was reversed, you could either write the story as Manny Machado choked in that situation, or the story could be Mike Shildt took a run off the board. What an idiot.
7-6-0 with a good point that I forgot about. But in the first inning, bases were loaded in the first with no outs. Manny, X, and Merrill up, and the Padres did not score. So it's like everything could change at any given time. And I think ultimately it was the right decision, and the numbers support that it was the right decision. I hadn't seen that the numbers said that yet. It's also a decision I wouldn't have made. And the funniest moment of the night was right after the hit happened, and Manny and everyone comes in to score, and like everyone kind of takes a deep breath. Don Orsillo's like, I wouldn't have done that, but good on Shildt.
Well, again, because Don Orsillo is looking at this through the lens of somebody who doesn't have access to the numbers that these guys have access to. Now, don't get me wrong. In the moment, I don't even think I was thinking about the managerial decision. Like I was thinking more like, oh, wow, I'm glad that this is happening because the drama's building. And here we go. Let's see if Manny can do it. And sure enough, he delivers. But when you go back and you look at it, like it's sort of like, I don't know, like a team already has a lead. They go for it on fourth down on like a 4th and inches situation in football. They're on their opponent's side of the field. Even if they cough up the football, they're handing over, say, an 83-yard field to the opponent. It's like those decisions are easy to make. It's like, do we take the 3 points? It's like, well, no, we already have a comfortable lead. Let's just do it. And our defense is playing well anyways. Like, it's those moments, right, in football where you go, oh, no, I totally understand. Baseball, this doesn't come up all that often. In catcher's interference, it's not happening every night. Fourth down decision-making happens all the time in football. Very rarely do we have a situation where a manager is tasked to make the defining decision. Maybe it comes up.
I don't know if we'll see that happen again this year.
No.
Where Jake Cronenworth somehow just clips the catcher's glove on his swing, and then it's a situation where Mike Shildt even has the opportunity to take the run off the board. Like
it's so rare.
It's so rare. And I do think that, like, I understand the numbers supported. I understand Mike Shildt probably got that, but I also think that there was a part of Mike Shildt that was like, you know what? We're in a slump right now. This has been a bad couple of months or a bad couple of weeks here. Like, it's just time to get some runs on the board, and who else is going to do it other than Manny Machado?
It's beyond that. It's again, play the what if game, play the hypothetical game. What message does it send to your clubhouse about who you are as a manager if you don't trust your guys in that situation on April 30th?
You're right. And I would also
you know what
say,
it means? It means that you are the wrong guy for the job.
That's
and
right.
You will have a mutiny on your hands. You could hand Manny Machado a bases loaded moment in April where we're not talking about the playoffs. We're not talking about a situation where it's the Dodgers in the NLDS and every run matters. So, I mean, oh my God, maybe Manny comes up to Shildt in that situation and goes, shoot, I'd take the run, Skip. I mean, honestly, being a leader, slumping, right? But this situation, you cannot do that. And I'm glad he didn't.
So Bob Melvin, he was forced to follow whatever the iPad said to do by AJ Preller.
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
Shilty, yeah, that's what it felt like. Shilty don't feel like he has that same narrative?
No. See, this is again, he is following the numbers. That's the point I'm trying to make. The numbers supported the decision.
Well, that's what I was backing up for.
So Shildt is following the
and I think
iPad.
He was hired as the next manager because he's an iPad follower.
Yeah.
I think that was a big part of it. Bob Melvin hadn't always been that throughout his career. So now you look, and I think that a 6-game losing streak would have been a lot worse sounding than a 5-game losing streak, and going now they're 1-5 or 1-4 on this homestand with an opportunity to be 2-4 on this homestand. 2-4 sounds a lot better than 1-5. So today becomes that much more important just in terms of momentum and feel for this team. And I understand it's May 1st and it's early, but man, you can't get down too much more. So Padres need to go out there and get it.
Well, if you're going to halftime, if you're going to do halftime, let's do it now.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Oh my gosh, what I got for you is a little NBA action. Woo! Last night we had a bunch of game 5s out of the East. What's interesting about the NBA playoffs right now out of the East is all the series right now are 3-2 series. So the Sixers, they beat the Knicks. The Knicks lead that series 3-2. The Cavs, they beat the Magic. The Cavs lead that series 3-2 over Orlando. The Bucks, they beat the Pacers. Now, this was a come from behind because they were down 3-1, 115-92 final. They get a little bit closer to making this interesting. Pacers right now lead that series 3-2. Tonight, though, we got the Clippers. That's the late game. Before that, we're going to see, who was it? I just had him.
Miami and Boston.
Yeah, you're right. The Heat. So the Celtics have the 3-1 lead in that series. The game is in Boston. This kind of feels like the Denver Nuggets Lakers series. I think it's time to say goodbye to Miami. That tips off before we have Clippers Mavericks, LA hosting Dallas. The series tied 2-2. Tip off 7:00. That's going to be on TNT. And then you heard all about the Padres game last night with the catcher's interference call. They end up winning this game 6-4. Darvish looked good on the mound. So yeah, the Padres are in pre-streak mode.
Yeah,
Still can't
I'm
hit
here
home
for
runs.
No.
John Schaefer had this stat where he said that
Marine
Petco
layer.
Park so far has the second most home runs hit in any stadium this year, and it doesn't feel like the Padres have been hitting those.
Wait, what?
Wait,
Yeah,
that
right?
Seems
Marine
impossible.
layer.
Yeah, because of all the dew.
Right? You think about how many the Phillies hit when they were here, and now
Yeah, I don't
Cincinnati's been
think
they
about
had two
that
more
too
last
much.
night.
I don't think about that too much. Look, I mean,
wild
the
that they-
home runs are fun.
Yeah, but the Padres aren't hitting them.
Wins would also be fun.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. I mean, if you want to play small ball and knock them around the bases and still get wins, I'll celebrate that just like I celebrate home runs. In fact, I'd rather have the wins than home runs and losses.
All right, so they're top third. They're tied for 10th place in terms of home runs. I did not know this.
The Padres
Padres?
team
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
They're
As
just
a-
not hitting them at home, though.
as a team.
and
So-
they're not hitting them anymore. They were hitting them a lot at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, Dodgers 33 homers. Padres. So Padres are tied with the Dodgers at 33 in the 10th spot.
Right, that's not the stat I was saying. I'm saying Petco Park
Oh
itself.
no, at home. Yeah, or I should say Petco Park per each team who's playing there. Obviously, the Padres.
Responsible for the second most, at least going into last night's game, second most home runs of any stadium in baseball.
I'm curious if I could pull up the home run split. I'm sure there's a website that would let me do that to see how many homers the Padres have actually hit at home versus how many homers their opponents have hit
I
at
think the
home.
Phillies hit 9 over 3 games.
It was not good. They were bombing the Padres. Look, here's the deal. Again, the marine layer stuff, like, hey, Petco Park, pitcher-friendly park. It's like, yeah. But for both pitchers, like we were joking about this end of last week and yesterday a little bit, or maybe it was Monday a little bit. Like it's we can't really use that as an excuse. In fact, the only way you can use that is as an advantage towards the Padres, because guess what? They're used to playing there. Same way everybody talks about Colorado. It's like Coors Field is a bandbox, man. That thin air at altitude. It's like, well, then the Rockies should just hit home runs constantly.
Just cranking them out.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they don't.
Well, no, they don't. Look, it's somebody just trying to grasp at a straw here, just trying to make sense of why it doesn't work when you're at home, and I don't know why. I don't know. Other than, look, this team that we've complained about, and we've said, hey, look, you got some stars on this team. All we're asking for is that you start playing like the stats on the back of your baseball cards. I mean, that was the argument last season. This season, there's been some ups and downs. However, right now it feels a lot like last season. So if this continues on, all of a sudden the stats on the back of the baseball cards don't look great over the past 2 seasons.
They don't look good so far. And 2-10 in home night games so far this season, like that's a little bit putrid. I mean, that's awful. Like, you think like last night, Tuesday night in San Diego.
Because guess what? They're going to be mostly night games.
Can we
At
just
home,
change the time of the games?
Maybe that helps, or change the elevation. I don't remember the Mexico City games last year.
Oh,
like
yeah.
The Padres were world beaters. But you look
Well,
at
we solved that, but they didn't take our advice where we were just going to put Petco Park up on stilts.
and then elevator.
We did
Yeah,
say
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I thought it
did
was a great
mention
idea.
that.
Mile tall stilts.
36,000
Nobody liked
last
that,
night
yeah.
in attendance on a Tuesday night, school night. Like 36,000 are there after watching this team only win 2 night games so far this season, or after watching them only win 1. And then last night was the second. It's impressive what the Padre fans are doing. It just needs to be impressive on the field now for the Padres.
Yeah, I mean, do you see a point though where Padre fans don't go to the games?
It's already ticking down. And
Ticking down.
There were boos last night in the first inning when they had the bases loaded, no outs, the beef of their order up, and they didn't score a run.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah.
Start chunking up some wins, and that goes away quick.
Oh yeah, listen.
Yeah.
I mean if you look at the Padres, their longest win streak has been 3 games so far, or was it 4 games so far this season? Their longest streak losing has been 5 games. If you look at the red, you know what I mean? Like let me see if I have it up still. Yeah. If you look at the ledger, the win-loss ledger, I mean, it's not like this is crazy. right? Nothing that has happened can't be undone. They're 15-18 right now, and you look at what they're better at doing, winning or losing. Well, I mean, it's hard to say, but I will say this: they've strung together a lot more losses in a row than they have wins over the course of this season because of what they just did recently. But again, teams can get hot. The same way they can get cold, they can get hot. So this team, if you don't want to talk about a turnaround, it's May 1st. But if this team can win 8 of the next 10,
they're 4.5 behind the Dodgers. It's over.
Right. Like all you need to do is just put your nose to the grindstone and just do the work, and it can turn for you. And by the way, other teams go into lulls too. So you may catch teams at the right time. It felt like last year, everything that could go wrong absolutely did. Like it felt like nothing the Padres did could overcome the circumstances, which sometimes in life happens. Sometimes you get the breaks and sometimes the breaks get you. And that's what happened last year. It doesn't feel like that's going to be this year, but it doesn't feel good losing 5 straight. It feels a lot better waking up after.
No, absolutely. And as far as the Dodgers go, 1, I'm shocked they're only 4.5 games behind them. 2, I came into the season with expectations the Dodgers are just going to dominate. So go do whatever you got to do, Dodgers. I don't care. I honestly don't care. In my head, you've already won the West, so go for it. I just want the Padres to do well enough to get into the playoffs, and it's all brand new. Then we'll talk.
Yeah. It's really interesting. I'm hoping, I'm praying that this season doesn't end the way last season ended. That we are looking back and we're saying, geez, well, I guess every single game back there in May mattered. You know what I mean?
Like we did last season.
Yeah, because they needed a couple of games to cobble together what would have been a wild card bid, and they just couldn't get out of their own way. All right, coming up in just a little bit, Arizona's a buzzkill. We'll explain in a moment. Before we do that, though, I want to talk about something really important to a lot of people around the city of San Diego, and frankly, a lot of people who have visited this city. We have something called the Ronald McDonald House. It's located across the street from the Children's Hospital here in San Diego. And if you've never been, well, that's a good thing. You're very fortunate. People who visit the Ronald McDonald House, they're facing some pretty significant issues, right? They have a sick kid who's over across the street getting treatment. Their life could be in danger. You never know the circumstances visiting with a specialist, and it could be putting mom and dad in a hard spot financially or from a work standpoint. So what the Ronald McDonald House does is it steps in. You don't need to buy a hotel room. They put you up. You don't need to run out and get meals while you're making all these important decisions about potentially, the rest of your life in the weeks or days that follow a diagnosis, for example. No, they're going to provide warm meals for you. They have other programs and services available to families in this situation, and it's been doing it for a very long time. And it's your support that helps keep those doors open for all those people who need your help. So the San Diego Giving Back Raffle is a great way to give back to this very important community resource. 2024 is the 20th year of the San Diego Giving Back Raffle. So if you spend $150 on a ticket, here's what you get. You get an opportunity for 2,000 great prizes, 20 vacations, 20 vehicle options, 20 days of $2,000 prizes. And then there's a grand prize drawing on the 25th of July. Every raffle supporter is guaranteed to win a prize on the grand prize drawing. So why not? Right? $150. Trust me, there's going to be things that come up that are going to cost a lot more than that, that you're going to feel after spending the money. Boy, I wish I didn't. But this isn't going to be one of those things because you're guaranteed to win. And on top of it, it's the best money you'll spend this year. So San Diego Giving Back Raffle, it's on now through the summer. San Diego Giving Back Raffle.
Man, oh man, something is a buzz out in Arizona. In fact, Arizona, total buzzkill. We'll explain coming up next.
This update is presented by TacoTimeCalifornia.com. We will start off here with the Padres. They get a win last night at home over the Reds 6-4. Manny Machado, a few RBIs on a bases-loaded double. Bullpen holds the lead. Day game today against the Reds in the rubber match of the series. Joe Musgrove on the mound. Sticking with baseball, Angels often injured superstar Mike Trout. He needs to get surgery on a torn meniscus. He's going to miss a significant amount of time. NBA playoffs last night. Sixers survive in overtime with a 112-106 win over the Knicks. Knicks lead the series 3-2. Cleveland takes a 3-2 series lead over the Magic with a 104-103 win. Bucks keep their series alive with a 115-92 win. Indiana still leads 3-2. In California, taco time is all the time. Visit TacoTimeCalifornia.com for a money-saving offer on beef, plus delicious recipes for tacos, fajitas, taco salad, nachos, and more. Save on beef at TacoTimeCalifornia.com.
Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. And for Live Nation, presents Concert Week. That's what the company says.
Right.
Coming up on the show today, your chance to win a pair of tickets to Iron Maiden at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater on October 4th. Concert Week almost here. $25 tickets to over 5,000 shows. That's up to 75% off on sale May 8th through the 14th. 1 week to get those $25 concert and comedy tickets and fill your summer with shows. To get your tickets, go to livenation.com/concert week.
Sorry. Smoky in here. You mentioned Iron Maiden.
It's so smoky in here.
Oh.
It's too smoky.
Yeah. Please, somebody.
Gosh.
Filtration. Anyways,
Bruce Dickinson.
I'll tell you what. I'd rather too much smoke than too many bees.
Yeah, that's right.
In fact, that the beekeepers will tell you it's a long used tradition. Smoke actually helps calm the bees.
Right,
So,
right. Yeah.
Thank goodness Iron Maiden wasn't playing the pregame at Dodger Stadium. Otherwise, we would not have seen baseball.
Did you see what went down there? It was in Arizona.
Or excuse me, in Arizona, yeah.
And there was a massive beehive on top of one of the protective nets that was going around, and the bees were like attacking. And so they delayed this game 2.5, 3 hours. Like, it was a crazy delay that went on and on and on. And now the beekeeper, who was at his son's t-ball game, has become this viral superstar because he comes in, saves the day, and then they have another first pitch, like a ceremonial first pitch. Who comes out? The beekeeper.
Dude, in full beekeeper outfit. So he's wearing his blue jeans, but up top, he's wearing the whole thing. He's got the protective gloves. He's got
white suit.
The white suit. Yeah. He's got a giant beekeeper helmet. He looked like a beekeeper mascot. It looked like it was the Arizona Beekeepers. He strutted out to the mound.
He struts out, flips off the
like
cap.
Conor
He's
McGregor
like, give me that
coming to the octagon.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
and then the capper, the most awesome part of it all, Dodgers lose on a walk-off home run from the Diamondbacks.
Yeah. Do you want to know what's happening scientifically there with the bees?
Tell me.
He didn't sound excited for that.
No, dude, we're about to get some nerd stuff or a bad pun.
No, it's not. It's not a bad pun. It's not nerd stuff. It's cool, man.
No, this feels like the best thing that could happen right now. Yeah, TD, what do you got for us?
They were moving the queen. I guarantee you that's what it was.
That was disappointing.
Okay.
That's all they were doing. So what they do, when the queen decides I'm going to go somewhere else, the queen leaves, the hive swarms around the bee or around the queen to protect her. So when they were getting attacked, they probably weren't really getting attacked, but they probably were getting hit by bees because they were swarming around the queen. When the queen landed on that net, they then gather around her.
Well, listen, if this was at Dodger Stadium, that's how they would have handled it. I'm pretty sure this guy killed all those bees because this is Arizona and we don't F around.
Have you seen the one chick on Instagram or TikTok? She's like pretty good looking, but she's a beekeeper. And she'll walk in without the suit. Like she'll just walk in by herself. Maybe she has a mask on, but that's it. And she'll just reach in there with her hand and like has a little hair clip, it looks like, to grab the queen bee and move her around. And then she smokes everything out. And then
on Instagram?
On Instagram or maybe TikTok.
She's a pretty hot chick.
But she'll show up at these places with like hundreds of thousands of bees underneath the patio or something and just pull off one piece of wood and be like, oh, queen, right there. Boom.
Yeah. And then she puts it in this little like plastic cage. It looks like a
hair clip, like girls would use on the ponytail.
Exactly. And then moves it. And it really, honestly, it might be a hair clip. And then moves it over. And then within a couple of hours, which obviously these players don't have, these managers don't have, like you can really save the day. You could get all the bees transported to maybe a bee farm somewhere. They make honey. But again, baseball needed to be played. This guy was at T-ball. So you got to wait for this guy to schlep his way over there, get his beekeeper stuff, get a lay of the land, climb the net or however the hell they got him up there.
It's like a 2.5 hour delay.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
He had a single man lift.
Yeah.
I watched it.
If you were watching the Padres game on the back wall at Petco, you could see Dodgers Diamondbacks and it just said bee delay for the entire Padres game.
Bees on the mound. Actually, didn't they scratch a pitcher because he's allergic to bees? I don't
know.
Really? I didn't dig into the story deep
I want to know.
I need more info.
That would be a terrible thing to be allergic to. I've stepped on so many bees in my life and their stinger just gets into my foot.
Really?
You have?
Inmer said they're everywhere.
Hang on a second.
You just be on the ground.
What is up with you and your feet?
Well, also, like so many times is such a bizarre way to describe this.
How many?
I've only heard of this happening twice. I'm 38. It happened to Sebastian once, and I only know of one other person until I meet you.
It's happened to me 6 or 7 times in my life.
What? I've never stepped on a bee.
I was always barefoot running around our backyard, like out by the pool or whatever, and played catch with Alex. And so if we were barefoot running around the backyard, chances are you're going to step on a bee.
You're the guy who licks the top of the 9-volt battery and go, ow, that hurts. But you know what? I'm going to do it again.
Can't hurt the second time.
How many times do you have to touch the stove to see if it's hot?
Yeah. Like, I mean, it really, it's like maybe shoes, maybe shoes.
Yeah.
But
yeah. You know
that was
what?
a part of everyone's childhood, stepping on bees.
Oh, no.
Because I look down and I would see a bee and not step on it.
In the grass.
Well, also
when you're running.
Also, you would assume if if like stepping on bees was such a common occurrence, you would probably hear from a lot of people.
Right.
Man,
Right.
it's just one thing that I hate about being barefoot
Dude, I
is
got
stepping on all of the bees.
There was one that got inside
Nobody's running around saying that.
inside my baseball glove at one point.
Oh, that sucks.
And it stung me like right here, and I didn't know about it till I took my glove off, and then all of a sudden I had this. Whoa,
How many times have you been stung by a bee?
this 9 or 10 times.
Wow.
7 of them are your feet.
A few, yeah, more often on my feet than anything else.
Like what? Hang
I
on.
really did not know this was going to be one of the weird Ben Fletcher
Oh,
things,
oh,
and now all
yeah.
of a sudden it is.
Dude, like again, almost 40, TD in his mid 40s. Between the two of us, that's 80 years of life, never stepping on
No,
a bee and getting
Bees
stung.
were just more common in Merced. I don't know.
This is
Wait,
wild.
Because
Did
growing
you-
up, like a lot of people got stung by bees
On their
often.
feet?
Yes.
Wait, were
in
there-
my backyard?
Were there like dandelions or something in the grass?
No, it was a beautifully mowed lawn.
You had
I
a-
mowed
what
that
What are
lawn.
bees doing in the grass?
You had such a bizarre childhood. So Fletch is just getting the absolute dog stung out of his feet.
I mean,
and
7
then
times over like 17 years, that doesn't seem that crazy.
it's a huge amount. It's a huge amount. And
I'd say
then
that's more than most.
when he's not getting the bottoms of his feet stung, he's out there killing chickens with his granddad
Yeah.
and throwing them into tomato vines. Like that is
Again, not that uncommon.
you can't bruise the
Yeah.
meat. We gotta throw it in the vines.
I want to bruise the meat.
Holy smoke.
Paris says, I'm 64, I've never been stung once, but not on my feet. Oh, only been stung once.
Yeah, okay.
Peter Salas getting stung on the feet might be a cultural thing. He's Italian, if you didn't know.
Yeah. True.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, the bees do like the Italians.
They love
Italian
the
feet.
They love the fig
Yeah.
and they can smell it coming out. It's the toe jam.
I really did not think this was going to be one of the weird
no.
things.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
I love
it
your
is.
brain.
In fact, I think my nephew got stung at my parents' house on his feet, running around in the backyard, just like last summer, 2
Okay,
summers ago.
Okay, I have a new idea for social. We need to call the bee lady and we need to take a visit up to Merced. We need to visit the Fletchers. We're gonna get this handled.
By the way, out in
Imagine she
Arizona,
finds out she's
No,
like,
my mom loves the
she's
bees.
like, oh my
They
God,
take
you're-
care of the flowers.
you
Yeah.
have millions of bees under your lawn. This is
this is the largest subterranean beehive we've ever discovered.
We weren't even supposed to kill the bees because they keep the flowers really healthy.
Yeah, that's what they do.
yeah.
That's what they're here for. I want to know who was supposed to throw out the first pitch.
Oh, they left.
Oh,
Yeah,
but I mean,
yeah.
they had to go to. It was like probably some like
It's like Eric
World
Estrada.
War II. Yeah, it's Eric Estrada. Like, sorry, Eric,
Yeah,
we got
or-
the beekeeper.
I picture it going the opposite way. I picture it's somebody who's like, look, it's getting late. And I mean, I love bees as much as the next guy, but I'm not trying to get stung
Because it's the
at Chase Field tonight.
it's like the 12-year-old American Idol contestant who has to go to bed because there's school the next day.
Yeah, that's exactly correct.
All right, guys, true story. I have a wedding coming up on June 14th.
Mhm.
Between today, because I'm starting today, and June 14th, I'm back on stfatloss.com because I'm emceeing this wedding.
Well,
Wait, where is the wedding, by the way?
This wedding is up in Sonoma.
Okay.
so you're switching from the maintenance phase back to the weight loss
Back
phase?
to hardcore weight loss.
Oh, boy.
Like my original goal was 220. I mean, my original goal for the first 2 months was 240. I hit that easily, but now I want to get all the way down to 220 by the wedding.
The reason why I say, oh boy, is because if Fletch loses any more weight, we're not going to be able to see
Right.
him anymore.
That's right. That's right.
There's
Yeah.
always improvements you can do, Richie. That's important. So stfatloss.com, if you want to do it with me, it's going to be a month and a half, and I bet you I lose around 20 pounds. So if you want to jump on the board, stfatloss.com today, you're going to get $200 off the program, and you can join me as I do this over the next month and a half or so. And I know it's going to happen. Like, I know I have that roadmap because Wayne and Chloe built it for me. It's already worked for me, and I'm just going to continue on down that road, but a little more strict here over the next month and a half or so. So get on over to stfatloss.com today. It's not going to be an exercise thing. It's not going to be a drug thing. You're not going to have to do any injections or stick to any crazy pre-planned meals plan. All you got to do is old-fashioned dieting, and you do it with the natural way with stfatloss.com. And right now, $200 off your order if you mention Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. And in a couple months, when you're sitting out by the pool, you're going to feel a lot better about yourself. You're going to look a lot better in your swimsuit. Get on over to stfatloss.com today.
Buddy bands?
Buddy bands. Yeah, that's coming up very, very shortly. Cannot wait to debut.
Hey, they work.
Yeah. They sure do.
What? Okay, hold on.
Yeah,
We're
go
talking
ahead.
about Full House buddy bands. What were they? Like hair ties?
I forget. I do think they were hair ties.
What the hell are you guys talking about?
We've got a promo that we cut.
Which we cut a new open. You haven't used it yet.
Yeah.
Very
CJ
sad.
made like a really nice open for the first hour.
Yeah, no, I liked it. It was good. I thought maybe we'd use it like as a rejoin,
Oh, you know what I was thinking about the other day? I'm glad that we got down this weird rabbit hole. But yeah, we're going to be playing a new show open coming up in the 7:00 hour. Are we allowed to play songs that were made for TV? Like, you remember when Uncle Jesse on Full House sang that song Forever? Like, if every word I said.
Well, I don't know. As long as it's not.
could make you laugh, I talk forever.
We don't even need Jesse.
Yeah, maybe I should just put on a leather jacket. Do you guys want me to continue?
We got about 3 minutes here.
Not true.
Oh, we have like a minute?
You have 45 seconds.
Wait,
So
what?
what? We haven't even got into what buddy bands are.
God, we have so much backstory to give
Yeah.
everybody.
That's also not on the rundown.
Well, so listen, Stephanie Tanner. No, I'm kidding. This
Stephanie and DJ.
this is actually pretty impressive. When you're thinking about where are sports at right now, right? Where are we at in the lexicon of like what it's worth to the American people, the American viewer, and what's it's worth to these networks? In the latest battle for TV rights, NBC is now planning to offer, listen to this number, $2.5 billion.
Wow.
In an effort to steal the NBA from TNT. So TNT, long-term partners with the NBA, Chuck and Shaq and Ernie and Kenny, inside the NBA, you get that big TNT logo right in the middle of the dais. Everybody's familiar with where you go for basketball current day. However, NBC wants to make a strong run for this broadcasting network rights. Does this change anything for you? Like if instead of it being on TNT, instead of it being, I don't think they would make any changes to the personalities.
I hope not. And Chuck and Shaq both make around $10 million a year. Like, I think they signed that a few years ago with TNT or
Makes
Turner
sense.
Sports. But what I will
shock
say,
me if it's more.
Right.
you want to know what's awesome if it switches to NBC is they already have a streaming platform. TNT's is super clunky. Like, you need a TV provider to sign into it. So I always have to
that's
steal my father-in-law's or my dad's.
You need like a cable package
Right.
like Cox or a DirecTV.
Peacock, you can sign up for independently. Like, for cord cutters like me, like, I'm able to just get anything that's on NBC on Peacock right away. So I'm here for it.
So part of the reason they're going to pay $2.5 billion is because of the talent that's already there.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not going to change that out. That's the moneymaker here.
So
by the time Shaq is 60 years old, he will have made $100 million just from his TNT work.
Good Lord.
Wow.
And he is fantastic. And so is Chuck. That
Yeah.
whole group, that is the reason the NBA is watchable during the regular
Dude,
season.
it's actually one of the most entertaining in sports.
Yeah.
It's fun.
They've won 1 million Emmys. If they don't transfer that over to NBC, it's a huge mistake.
So NBC Universal is planning to pay an average of about $2.5 billion a year for the rights to the NBA as fees for the league's coveted broadcasts are set to
Golly.
double from their current levels, according to a report on Monday. If accepted, the broadcast rights to the basketball games could change hands from TNT, which has paid an average fee of about $1.2 billion under its current deal, to the Peacock network, the Wall Street Journal is reporting. So this is the most money any single network has paid per year to a league yet, and it's only ballooning more.
Now, is that because Fox, CBS, NBC, and now Amazon Prime all pay the NFL some part of $1 billion?
Well, yeah, if you think about Amazon, the deal, I should say for
that was $1 billion a year.
I shouldn't say for all sports. Yeah, for basketball, Amazon's deal is an 11-year deal for $1 billion a year for one game a week. It's crazy.
And one playoff game.
What? Yeah. It's crazy. One game a week and one playoff game. Okay, coming up next, we debut our brand new show open, Buddy Bands.
Which, by the way, they're friendship bracelets. It's before Taylor Swift.
I have not listened to this yet. How dumb am I going to think this is?
Oh, you are going to be so happy to hear it.
You're going to be so. Also, we have morning monologues. Also, we have great giveaways. Also, he is the present. He is the future. Who are we talking about? You'll find out next.
Hour 2, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. This update presented by the California Department of Forestry. We will begin with the Padres. They get a win last night at home over the Reds 6-4. Manny Machado comes through with a bases loaded double early on. Then the bullpen held the lead. Day game today against the Reds. Rubber match of the series. Joe Musgrove on the mound. Sticking with baseball. Excuse me.
Whatever you're choking down, you take your time, feller. I got you.
It was White Monster. What happened with Mike Trout?
Mike Trout, he's got knee surgery coming up, and he's all bummed out about it.
On a torn meniscus. NBA playoffs last night. Sixers survive in overtime. 112-106 win over the Knicks. Knicks lead the series 3-2. Cleveland takes a 3-2 series lead over the Magic with a 104-103 win. Bucks keep their series alive with a 115-92 win. Indiana leads that one 3-2. Wildfires don't wait, neither should you. Protect your home and property now. Start preparing by creating defensible space and hardening your home. Learn more from CAL FIRE on what it means to be ready at readyforwildfire.org.
I was never good at making friends. Never could get a date for the dance. And I tried everything. I tried everything I could think of. And then I discovered Buddy Bands. And now, for only $3.95, my dance card is full.
Happy Wednesday to those who celebrate. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch with you. Happy hump day to you all.
Mike.
That's right. We're bringing it back. Buddy Bands. Something that swept almost zero of the nation back in the 90s.
I mean, so much so that I could not remember what they were. But Buddy Bands, apparently friendship bracelets, way before Taylor Swift had friendship bracelets.
Yeah, it turns out she completely lifted this idea from Full House.
Yeah. Lame.
DJ Tanner, Stephanie Tanner. They're not getting zero
wait,
credit.
no, Saved by the Bell.
Oh, sorry. Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, Zach Morris.
Zach Morris. Acee Slater.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Kelly Kapowski.
This isn't even a real product?
No, it's from a TV show, Saved by the Bell.
Yeah. Which, by the way, was a cult success. I mean, like, it was a media success, and then it was also
Buddy Bands.
Buddy Bands. Hey, they work.
They really do. It also had a second life because they started putting it on streaming apps, and people really got into it. Buddy Bands episode was super popular.
That was from season 2, episode 11.
Yeah. Which, by the way, they were really finding their stride. Season 2.
So was that minute-long music bed just a dance break?
Yeah, it was just to show off the Buddy Bands.
Dude, okay, you are unaware of this, but in the late 80s and the early 90s, before you were born, commercials oftentimes they had words in the front and words at the end, and in the middle it was just action shots.
Yeah.
It was just people doing
like
stuff.
zooming in real fast on the Buddy Bands. Or like people high-fiving.
If you were trying to sell a Huffy bike in 91, the way you did it is you went, Huffy bikes available to every Toys R Us. And then you would hear like, right. And then you would just see children like skidding to a stop with training wheels on Huffy bikes.
Oh, it was so awesome.
And wearing helmets and going over dirt ramps. And then at the end, they would say, Huffy bikes. And then it would always have a slug line like, your kid's not going to fall. Products and details. Call a lawyer.
Did you have a Huffy bike?
No, we had, I had a dyno comp.
Wow, that was a good bike.
Yeah, so when I was a kid, I got really into BMXing. By that, what I mean is I knew zero tricks. I just thought the pegs looked cool.
Yeah, for sure.
So I begged my parents to buy me a bike. And they did. And then I went out front and I put my helmet on and I tried to do a tail whip and almost broke my leg. And my mom goes, that's it. Get off that bike. That is just a conveyance to get from place to place for you. I was like, okay.
I had a Huffy bike. It was awesome.
Yeah, Huffies were rad.
Yeah, I mean, I think it came from like Kmart.
Did Huffies go away at some point? I think
don't
when
know.
I was young, it was Giant.
Wait, hold on.
I didn't have a bike.
A
for
Giant?
so
that was
long.
called?
I think so.
That was the brand.
Yeah, they were like mountain
giant,
bikes.
giant bike.
No,
You're right.
It wasn't a mountain bike. This was like a BMX knockoff.
Yeah. They were small.
Huffy.
They were small bikes that usually had like almost like motocross. You know how like the front of the old motocross had the numbers on it?
Oh,
Like it had that placard,
the number plate,
in between the handlebars, and usually it had a Ninja Turtle on it,
right,
or like Batman,
and like the forks on the front end had like weird rubber pieces on it to make it look like shocks, but it was just steel forks.
Did you guys have friends growing up who actually did like BMX races and stuff, like ones where they would jump and everything?
Yeah,
and every year they would show up at some point with a different cast. Like one year it'd be an arm, one year it'd be a leg, one year it'd be a neck. Like I had this buddy Sean who did all of these. He was like rally car racing by the time he was like 12. And he was doing the BMX races his entire life. And every single year, come like August or something, he would show up with a different cast. And we're like, dude, stop.
Yeah.
That's a kid that lived down the street from me when I went to school with. Todd LeDuc is now a monster truck driver.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I know that name.
Yeah.
LeDuc. Does he do Monster Jam?
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. What car does he drive?
I can't remember now.
Like the animal or something like that?
I don't know. Yeah, I think it's like, it looks like a shark.
Oh, yeah. Dude,
there's been several different ones.
So let me tell you, twice now recently, I caught Monster Jam, or they have events all over the country. I had no idea they were televised anywhere, but at two different airports they were on the television at the gate I was sitting at. And dude, I started getting into it.
It's a big deal.
I don't know if Gravedigger's got what it takes to follow that act.
Or son of a digger.
I mean, his father was a digger.
Yeah.
And his father before that was a grave digger.
That's right. Now he's son of a digger.
That's right.
That's the name of the car.
Digger gets him. Speaking of getting some, Zach Wilson's not getting any. Well, okay.
He probably is.
So he's getting paid. He's fine. Look, and also, by the way,
he doesn't want to play.
He's on the prowl in Colorado now. He's got some fresh meat.
Wait, I thought, doesn't he have a girlfriend that followed him out there?
Oh, that's a good point. I don't know.
Zach Wilson doesn't care about girlfriends.
Is that like a slogan of his?
It is now.
They sell shirts.
We don't care about girlfriends.
Rule number one about being Zach Wilson is you don't get tied down.
What? I've never heard anybody talk about the strength of Zach Wilson like you are,
dude.
Fletch.
He slept with his mom's best friend. Dude, like that is Mount Rushmore status.
I love the way you're talking about Zach Wilson right now.
I'm so fired up.
That is a hairy-chested American winning machine.
Yes,
right. He actually seems like he has zero body hair.
No, yeah, that's a good point.
You think Zach Wilson's completely hairless? I mean, 100% hairless, other than the top of his head.
That'd be my guess.
From the eyelashes down, Zach Wilson. I mean, he literally, if you rub your thumb against it, he goes.
Like, is it waxed or he just doesn't grow hair?
Probably a combination of both. He would get those little puffs that come out every once in a while. You're like, gotta take care of that.
Or no, maybe it's laser. Maybe
wow. He has them lasered off.
His first order of business when he gets to Denver, he's like, Coach Payton, nice to meet you. Gotta go. Got a laser appointment. Need to be there 5 minutes before.
I need
if you're not 5 minutes early, you're 5 minutes late.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm having them fry my pubes off. I never want to see them again. Anyways, I'll see you on the flippity dippity.
Yeah. By the way, your mom says hi.
Yeah, check this out. Pass her this. Throws him a buddy band.
Says BFF on it.
So the Denver Broncos have been busy since they've acquired quarterback Zach Wilson. So that was a trade that occurred between the Broncos and the Jets a week before the draft. On draft night, they selected Bo Nix in the first round, 12th overall. So sources close to the Broncos have said or informed, or I should say the Broncos informed Wilson and his representatives that they will not pick up his fifth-year option on Wilson's contract. So as the number 2 overall pick to the New York Jets in 2021, you got to make that decision ahead of the 2025 season or ahead of the 2024 season, whether or not the 2025 season fifth-year option will be picked up. It won't. This shocks nobody. Zach Wilson has not been very good. However, it's more shocking if they don't pick up Bo Nix. If they didn't have Bo Nix and they didn't pick up Zach Wilson's fifth-year option, people would be going, well, then what's the plan here? But they did. We're living in the world of today, and the present and the future is Bo Nix in Denver. And if you look at this, it actually was pretty crafty what they did. So they bring in an insurance policy, and really kind of an insurance policy for the fan base too. If it didn't work out in the draft for the Broncos this year, at least Sean Payton and company can say, well, hey, look, We're looking to develop Zach Wilson. And if he sees a second life in Denver that resembles anything better than New York, maybe you're able to stave off, people, the pitchforks and the torches for one more year while you figure out who the quarterback of the future in Denver is going to be. But they did. They got the Oregon Duck. They got Bo Nix, who's a veteran player out of college football, super successful year with Oregon last year.
Played a ton of football throughout his college career.
At Auburn and Oregon.
The question I kind of have about Bo Nix, and TD, I promise this is not to make you feel bad about the future of the Denver Broncos.
No, it's cool, man. It feels good when your team is like, listen, we're going to push every chip right in the middle of the table.
And every chip on Bo Nix, who, let me just ask this to you guys, was he the least desirable with the lowest ceiling of all the top quarterbacks in this draft?
The least desirable with the lowest.
I don't think that there was any draft expert that even showed Bo Nix going in the first round unless he went to Denver because they needed him. So that probably tells the story.
I will say this, though. If you are going to put a player in a situation where he can have success, this is about as good of a situation as you could be in for a quarterback. Because Sean Payton has now hitched his wagon to Bo Nix. Like, think about this. That's a 12th overall pick. That is a franchise shifting decision. And when you put that sort of capital in a quarterback, and you, Sean Payton, are quarterback whisperer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, look what he did with Drew Brees.
For sure. Do they still have the two receivers, Sutton and Judy? Did either of those guys get traded?
Judy's gone, right?
I can't remember. I feel like both of them got traded, but that might have just been rumors about both of them getting traded.
Sutton went, but maybe I can't remember either. It's been a heartbreak. Once Zach Wilson got signed, I was crushed at that point.
Let me give you some of the positives of Bo Nix, and then we'll probably have to match them with the weaknesses because there are weaknesses. But some of the positives are, look, this guy, like we mentioned, played 5 years at the college level. He started a ton of games. He's got tremendous pre-snap recognition. Like, he understands what's happening to the offense before the ball is snapped. That is a huge, huge, huge battle that every quarterback is facing every single play at the next level. It's not all pre-designated where you're going with the football some of the time in college. In the NFL, it's almost none of the time because there's so much that can happen when the ball snaps. So that's good. He's got an ability to like manipulate defenses with his eyes, with pump fakes, things like that. He has a good handle. When you see a quarterback comfortable to influence the defense in those ways, it means that they got a good handle on what they're trying to do offensively, also what the defense is doing to them. Here's the problem. At Oregon, they ran kind of a limited offense. It was something like a third of his passes thrown while he was a starter there were behind the line of scrimmage. So you think about that, you're not seeing a lot of pressure because you're getting the ball out of your hands super fast. And by the way, when he was blitzed and pressure was leaking in, he had a tendency to I don't want to say shy away from contact. I'm not saying he's not brave in the pocket, but he would short arm passes sometimes, and there would be wide open receivers, tight ends, running backs, outlet passes that wouldn't have a accurate ball thrown their way because it seemed like he was nervous to get hit in the pocket.
Yeah, and I actually like the style of Bo Nix play. I think that if anybody's going to make it work, Sean Payton is a guy to make it work. The problem I have is it kind of seems like a guy you take on the team and let him simmer for about a year. Let him watch the guy who knows how to do it and teach you the ropes here, show you the ropes. And they don't have that luxury.
No,
he's got to go out and get it done.
So it's Cortland Sutton and Tim Patrick are the two top wide receivers on Denver right now. Jerry Judy's with the Browns.
Yeah, he can go drop passes in Cleveland.
Cortland Sutton's going to drop passes in Denver.
Well, not with Bo Nix.
Tim Patrick's going to tear another ball. Tim Patrick's torn 2 ACLs in like a 4-year career.
Yeah, it's fine. They picked up. It was like they were drafting their fantasy team here and went, hey, you know what? Bo Nix, he throws a lot of touchdowns to this guy on Oregon. Let's pick him up too. So they got a wide receiver out.
I will say this. I'm curious to see who emerges if he's not the starter right out the gates, which it does, I agree, feels like he will be.
Ben DiNucci.
No, well, isn't Jarrett Stidham there?
It's Zach Wilson, Jarrett Stidham, Ben DiNucci, and Bo Nix. That's your quarterback room right now. You would imagine they'll go in with 3 guys, not all 4. I don't think they can go in with all 4, but they could go 3 because you could have the one as the emergency quarterback. You remember? That's the new rule.
Yeah.
So 3 of those guys will be on the team, presumably come like training camp.
Also, I can't remember, but did Bo Nix, did he play with Stidham? Because didn't Nix transfer to Oregon from Auburn? Did he play with Stidham? Did they overlap there?
It feels like Jarrett Stidham got drafted 7 or 8 years ago by the Patriots, but I could just be way off.
Okay, so he was drafted in 2019. So no, you're right there. But Bo Nix has been playing college football for so long that his first year in college was 2019 with the Auburn Tigers. So he's got a friendly face in the locker room with him. This is actually awesome for the Denver Broncos in a low-key way.
No, it's not.
Wait, what? And that's my morning monologue. Okay, I know that sounds like a lot of spin, but like, you don't know who's going to emerge as the best quarterback in this draft. Like,
let's be very clear about the Denver Broncos. They just made one of the worst financial decisions, but it was a decision they had to make in the history of the NFL.
Wait, what are you talking about? Getting rid of Russell Wilson?
They have more dead cap than anybody has ever had in league history because of Russell Wilson.
As a Bronco fan, though, I'm past it. Like, whatever it costs, let's just move on.
Yeah, but it's not really cool to be a Denver Broncos fan right now.
It's cool for me because they got some new uniforms and they look a lot like a college uniform, I guess. I don't know. I mean, they got them throwback helmets. I like that.
You damn right.
Yeah, man.
You're damn right.
I'll go first with monologues because it's going to be super quick and it's about college basketball, so it doesn't even really pertain to today's world. But something really weird is happening. Today, I think, is the last day for grad transfers in the transfer portal. So you're seeing a lot of tweets, right, from all the different beat reporters from all the different places. Like, think about the Mark Zieglers of everywhere across college basketball. And now I'm starting to see this thing pop up on Twitter that says so-and-so has transferred to so-and-so university per his agent. And so do you ever read something? It's like, that just doesn't look right on the page. And now all of a sudden you're seeing college kids have made this decision per their agent. And it just doesn't look right on the page, but that's the world we live in now.
Okay. Yeah. I will say this about college sports in general. It's not college sports anymore. You have to put it in a separate category in your mind. It's professional sports. Now, it has been for a long time, but it has been away from the light of day, but now it's open to everybody. So now we just have to designate it differently. You have to look at it through the lens of, like, for example, I remember when we were making the switch as a culture in entertainment from realizing that fame was not the commodity. Talent was the commodity, and talent got you fame. Like, so you had to be a great actor or actress in something in order for people to care about your celebrity.
Or sell your soul to the devil.
Or but
still open to.
But fame, like, there was nobody who's just famous. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there were certain models, I guess, but like overall, you had to be talented. There was a great shift because of the emergence of reality TV. You no longer need to be talented to be famous, and famous itself is a commodity.
Yes.
On Instagram, on TikTok, on social media, you could just be famous and make a living. That's it.
God, it feels good.
Yeah, well, so
it feels real good.
We've got to make that shift in sports now. Like, I know there felt like college sports passed a purity test, but that purity test is gone. Like, it is now professional.
Yeah, there's some kid out of Fresno State who he was like the only shining light for Fresno State this season who had a terrible season. But he just got a boatload of money to go to West Virginia and NIL. And the first tweet that we saw out of the Fresno State beat writer was, per his agent, so-and-so is going to West Virginia and is getting some portion of $600,000. It was a crazy number.
And by the way, the next wave we're going to start seeing is you're going to start seeing the college super agent. So, like, where you have the Scott Borases and the Scott Boras of Major League Baseball, Drew Rosenhaus of NFL. There's going to be a name emerging that all of the top prospects go to in the transfer portal to get the best on NIL deals.
And $600,000 will seem low.
Yeah, very soon. Yeah, very soon.
Yeah, it's going to be millions.
For my morning monologue, I'm going to focus on.
Glanced over.
I'm going to focus on this picture I found online. So it's a plate of hot dogs, and it's not unlike
chili
the
dogs?
hot dogs. Well, they're not chili dogs.
Not yet.
How many are on there?
So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hot dogs.
Light work.
Okay. So maybe they're getting ready for the 888 Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight. So we ate 9 hot dogs in 9 innings, and we coupled them with 9 beers. Well, we tried. Well, actually, I guess I did.
Yeah, you were successful.
I did it. It was awful, and we vowed to never do it again. But I will say
I
this.
think we should give it another shot.
I
don't think so.
Hang on. I will say this. After looking at this plate of dogs.
Yeah, they do look good.
Well, after you eat 9 hot dogs in one sitting, you look at dogs differently now. I look at a plate of 8 dogs and I go, dude, that looks like a meal. It doesn't look intimidating. I don't feel like I need to share that with anyone. But here's the tweet. To give you context, it was getting spread around. It went a little bit viral. You can only add 2 things to this platter of 8 hot dogs. They're all on buns. It looks like they're fresh off the grill. What do you add to this platter to enhance
baseball?
No, you're adding it to the dog. What are you putting on the dog?
Well, no, I mean it's open for. I mean it's open for interpretation. So beer baseball.
Wait, no. If my honest answer would be, I would go Dijon mustard, grilled onions.
Oh God.
Wow. Okay, what would you add to this plate of delicious, sizzling hot dogs on toasted buns?
So I'm adding it to the hot dogs because I'm going to consume all 8.
Yeah.
Mustard and jalapenos.
Wow.
And you were grossed out by mine?
Like pickled jalapenos?
Yeah.
Oh,
what? You don't like Dijon?
No, gross. Ruins everything.
Dijon is way better than just yellow.
Nope. Yellow, standard, all American. I'm 12 mustard.
Yeah. So chili cheese feels like the right answer.
God, that's a good. I didn't think about that.
It does feel like the right answer. However,
You can suck on all of them.
You damn right. Sucking down chili outside Tasty Freeze. But my answer, it pisses people off depending what room I'm in. Both mustard and ketchup.
Yeah, I know. I could go ketchup too, but people do freak out when you say ketchup. They're like, "That's for children."
So
I'm over ketchup. Just in general life, barbecue sauce is better. French fries, give me barbecue sauce.
Wait, so you no longer using ketchup?
I'm done with ketchup.
Interesting. Wow. Not even on eggs?
I don't think what.
That
was a weird thing to say.
Wait, why is that a weird thing to say?
No, people put ketchup
I know
on
people
eggs.
do, but that's just not the first example I would go to.
I can't eat eggs without ketchup. I swear to God. Even on sunny side up eggs, I love mixing the yolk with the ketchup. Makes it all like, I don't know, delicious.
But you could have said not even on a burger. Not even on tater tots.
I know.
Not even on French fries, but you go not even on eggs. I think that's a weird number 1 priority.
There's something very wrong with me.
No, it's fine.
So, anyways, that's my morning monologue. Ketchup and mustard is what goes on a dog. Like the I will say
the purists are gonna freak out.
The massive majority of hot dogs I've eaten in my life have had ketchup and mustard on them.
Yeah. Oh, I would say definitely same.
I like both, and I've always have, and I think it just dances on the palate.
Yeah, it's fine. We can get to my monologue later. Actually, you want mine real quick because it'll go real fast.
Let me hear it.
This is going to be a little controversial. I understand that people love this, but I think James Bond kind of boring.
Okay, that's a laugh.
We gotta get into that.
Boring.
We will.
Boring.
We will. That is an interesting. Actually, maybe we'll ask Daniel Popper coming up next if he's a fan of the Bond movies. Also, we got to ask him about the Los Angeles Chargers draft. Staff writer for The Athletic covers the Chargers. He joins us on the other side.
Bonus bucks. San Diego Sports 760 chances for you to win bonus bucks. Yeah, that's $1,000 every single day this week. Listen for the keyword. Enter it at sportssd.com. Next chance coming up at 9 o'clock this morning. Yeah. This update presented by Allstate. Started off with the Padres. They get a win last night at home over the Reds, 6-4. Manny Machado coming through with the bases loaded double early on. Bullpen holds the lead. Day game today against the Reds in the rubber match of the series. Joe Musgrove going to be on the mound. Sticking with baseball, Angels often injured superstar Mike Trout. He needs to get surgery on his knee. He's going to miss most of the year. NBA playoffs last night. Sixers survive it.
Noodling up right now? Oh my God.
NBA playoff games were on last night. Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you can save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
All noodling all day here on Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. We got catfish on the screen.
That was the most stressful update I've ever done in my life.
Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. TD, Travis Dale jumped on a ladder in the middle of Fletch's update, and he fixed the screen. No more will we have to watch some boring countdown clock. Now we have catfish noodling. We got a man in a hole. We got a man in a hole.
Flicked his junk at one point.
Yeah, you did.
Sorry.
I don't think that was accidental.
I was trying to hit your butt.
More appreciated than anything else.
Yeah, exactly.
Do we have our guest on the line? Okay, we got to call Daniel
Yeah,
Popper.
sorry.
Fletch is all out of sorts.
It's very important that I fix the TV in there. Okay. There was something Fletch needed to see on this screen.
Oh man, we call this guy Muddy Boots Johnson. He's out
He's
there
noodling right now.
He's out there in his board shorts with palm leaves on them.
I bet you Fletch owns those shorts.
Oh, there's no question. Oh, there's no question in my mind
Oh
at
my
all.
God, look at the size of that catfish.
In the world are we watching? Right now?
This is the best of noodling.
Yeah, You're damn right it is.
Wow.
And then we found another fish in a hole.
How many fish live in one hole?
Here, check this out.
Wait a minute. Did they put those pipes there purposely for noodling purposes?
No, those look like drain pipes from whatever plantation or lawn they're up against.
Wow.
And here comes another catfish. Come on, yo.
Come on, get it out of the water.
I'll tell you what, this is a good channel. We're gonna stick with this for a while. Listen, no easy segues in sports talk radio. We always say that. We go from catfish noodling back to the NFL. Daniel Popper joining us, the Athletic beat writer for the Chargers, been at it for a long time. This guy knows this team better than anybody we speak to. Friend of the show, joining us just days in the afterglow of the NFL draft. Joe Alt, the first overall pick to the Chargers. Lad McConkey comes in the second round. A couple of really high prize talents out of college football. I guess before we get to the draft with Daniel, we have to start up where we left off. TD, our co-host here, Daniel, said something highly controversial, and we're just curious your thoughts. He said, James Bond movies, boring. What are your thoughts on Bond movies?
Oh, man. So I have never seen a James Bond movie.
Wow. You know why?
So you
Because they're boring.
literally asked the worst person on earth.
No.
The worst person on earth for this question.
I think that you backed up my thought here. I have never finished a Bond movie.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I like the titles, especially the older ones. You know?
Yeah, Die Another Day.
What-
Yeah, that's the one.
One of my best friends from growing up, his family, they're all massive Bond fans. And I kept it to myself that I'd never seen a movie until we were in college. And one time I just let it slip while I was hanging at their house. And his mom almost kicked me out of the house for good. I was almost never allowed back in the house because I told them I'd never seen a Bond movie. They had like every Bond movie on DVD.
It's interesting about Bond that you said it was like a family affair at this friend's house. I always think of Bond movies as like, that's the movie that a divorced father brings his sons to, like because you can always count on it. Every summer it's a new James Bond movie, and so it's like, yeah, I gotta go with my dad. We're gonna go see the new Bond movie, but after that we could ride bikes.
I mean, they're no Fast and the Furious movies, but they're pretty good.
Well, but okay, hold on.
Hang on.
James Bond versus
Fast and the Furious franchise.
That's not a comparison.
Yeah,
You've never seen one of them. You've seen the other.
I've seen more of a Bond movie than I have a Fast and the Furious movie. I've never. I don't know if I've watched 5 minutes of Fast and the Furious.
Vin Diesel. I smelled the Oscar in Fast 3, and I feel like he was wrong. Anyways, we get back to the NFL with Daniel Popper joining us. The Athletic covers the Chargers. So, okay, this felt like a very need-based, very workman-like draft, which sort of matches the profile of Jim Harbaugh. It feels like he walked in the doors and he said, okay, let's get organized, people. What do we need here? And that just like that, they just started marking the list. Like, here's where we're going from top to bottom in that draft. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I think you're on it in terms of addressing the needs, but I don't think they sacrificed any value. You know, I think in past drafts with the Chargers, we've seen this team reach for players, frankly. You know, I go back to 2022 when they took safety JT Woods in the third round, mostly regarded as a fifth round pick, maybe later, very raw. They reached on him. He's only played 89 defensive snaps in his first 2 seasons. There were no picks that were like that in this draft where they were just reaching way beyond consensus. And so you also have to give a lot of credit to General Manager Joe Ortiz, who was really running that draft, where, you know, came up as a scout with the Ravens, and the way they were able to sort of methodically, you know, attack their needs in this draft without really sacrificing value. And in particular, you know, really getting 3 excellent players in the first 3 rounds, you know, honestly, later than a lot of people thought they would go.
Daniel, there was some speculation that the Chargers were going to trade up to that 5th spot, trade out of that 5th spot for a receiver. I mean, do you think they still need some help at receiver?
We'll see. I mean, so they have 87 players in the roster. You know, free agency doesn't end. You know, there's possibility that they could be looking into the wide receiver market here, you know, in free agency. You know, Tyler Boyd's a guy that's still out there, a veteran slot player who could help them. But they definitely filled out the room. You know, they made 3 picks at receiver in this draft, so they obviously knew that they needed bodies there. You know, Lad McConkey's a guy who, if he can stay healthy, he's going to be an excellent NFL player. I mean, his route running is off the charts for a player that's this early in his career. He's got long speed. He's got athleticism. He can give you a lot. And if he, you know, hits to the top of his profile, you know, you're talking about a potential number 1 receiver. They get Brendan Rice, 12 touchdowns last year in the Pac-12, obviously the son of Hall of Famer Jerry Rice. And then they also bring in Cornelius Johnson, another guy with long speed. Chad Alexander, the assistant GM, called the best blocking tight end in the draft. So you get a couple pieces there in the 7th that might have gone a little bit earlier in a different scenario, and you're able to build out that room a little bit. I think the room is lacking some top end talent, but they have said all along that they want to run the football. And they have also said all along that they really believe in Joshua Palmer, and the coaching staff thinks they're going to get a lot more to Quentin Johnston than they got last year. Obviously a first round pick in 2023. So there are some pieces there. Personally, for my taste, if I had Justin Herbert, I'd be trying to build out that room with some more top end talent, but they have a clear vision of how they want to do this thing, particularly at receiver.
And Daniel, it seems like they're really building from the inside out, not only with the first round draft pick, but when you look at coaches they bring in the offseason. How's our buddy Nick Hardwick doing? How's he blending in with the coaching staff? And you think he's going to make a little bit of an impact this year?
Yeah, it was great to catch up with Nick on Monday down in Costa Mesa. He just seems really grateful for the opportunity. He was in Indiana volunteering as a coach at a high school. He said he was staying up till midnight crushing film, getting 4 hours of sleep while also raising a family. And he was like, you know what? I should probably try and just go do this at the level that I'm more familiar with, and threw his hat in the ring. And, to Jim Harbaugh's credit, gave him a call and brought him into the facility. I think the fun part about it is obviously Jim Harbaugh played for the Chargers of San Diego, so he has an understanding of what the history of the organization means. And I think this is sort of a hat tip to that. Obviously, Nick has a wealth of knowledge. Bradley Bozeman, we got to talk to on Monday, the new starting center. And when I asked him about what kind of resource Nick would be, Bradley just waxed poetic about, how important it's going to be, how much he's going to get out of it. And so right now, Nick Hardwick said, listen, I'm just trying to be a sponge. I'm trying to soak everything up. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to become a better coach. But he was out there on the field during phase 1, snapping the ball to Justin Herbert. I asked him what that was like, and he said it was like riding a bike. So he's getting his hands dirty out there on the field already.
Yeah, I loved it. I saw a lot of that press conference that he gave in Costa Mesa, and I thought the questions were great. I thought Nick's answers were great. That's a guy who genuinely loves football, and he's fun to be around, and a lot of players are going to learn a lot from him. I had that experience working alongside Nick as a player, and player to player, it felt like I had a coach in the room. So now, in actuality, he's a coach in the room, and that's fantastic for the Chargers offensive line. We're joined by Daniel Popper, the athletic beat writer for the Chargers. So Jim Harbaugh, he's through his first draft as a head coach. He's living in an RV. He's a quirky dude. He's an eccentric, but he's also a great renovator of both college football and pro football programs, both. How do you feel the early goings are going with Harbaugh?
Yeah, obviously early days here, but you have to like the direction. I think the one thing that's really jumped out is there is such a clearly defined vision for what they want to be. A lot of times coaches come in, even let's go to the past coach with the Chargers and Brandon Staley. Like, he came in and, particularly offensively, was trying to sort of grab different things from different places. He brought in coaches from San Francisco, from Green Bay, from New Orleans, trying to take little bits and pieces of all the best offense and then turn it into, something new, kind of trying to grab from everywhere else. Like, that's not the case here. Like, they have an identity of what they want to be. Starts with Jim Harbaugh. Joe Ortiz is completely aligned with that. They want to be physical. They want to be tough. They want to run the football. They want to build through the trenches. And that, filters down to the coaching staff. And then that filters down to the players. Like, every player and coach that's gotten up to the podium, it's been consistent in the messaging of what they're going to be as a football team. And I think that's so important, because if you try and do too much, you lose your way. And that was something that a lot of players talked about under the previous regime, particularly offensively, but even defensively, is that there was just so much that they were trying to do that they felt like they never really had an identity. That's not going to be the case anymore. Jim Harbaugh knows how he wants to play football. He learned how to do that from his father. He's done it everywhere he's been. And the whole organization seems to be aligned in the vision of what they want to be. It's the type of players they're bringing in. It's how they're coaching it to the players. And I think that's going to be a big step forward for the organization, because it's been missing.
Is Jim Harbaugh still homeless? Still living in the RV? Is that confirmed?
No, he rented a house, and his family is now in California with him. So the RV era is over. But he was living in the RV park with the offensive coordinator, Greg Roman. They both had RVs, and they were parked next to each other.
Just fishing and drinking Coors Light every day.
Yeah, I saw the AstroTurf patio. I mean, it looked like good living if you could afford it.
Come on. It doesn't get better than that, man.
Dude, so cool. Well, I think there's a lot of people here in San Diego who are pretty excited about this because, look, even though the Chargers broke hearts here, a lot of Justin Herbert fans because he's exciting. He's a talent that really hasn't. It doesn't feel like he's been unlocked yet. So we're excited for that. We're excited to talk to you every time, Daniel. Thanks for the time, brother.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me.
There goes Daniel Popper, The Athletic, covers the Chargers. You can check him out on Twitter as well. One of the best, no question about that. Okay, coming up. We get back to buddy bands. I think it's been too long since we've discussed this.
Are we going to make them and sell them?
Yeah. Also, there's a huge amount of reaction right now toward this James Bond take that TD has brought up. So we'll get to that.
He also has another singer that he hates that came out of nowhere yesterday.
I know.
What's the other singer?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I hate him. He just sucks.
Oh, God. Well, we'll get to another revelation unveiled on the other side. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. But before we run, I want to talk to you guys about my feet. Oh, my gosh. Okay, so recently it's been a busy month, really, the month of April, camping and school events with the kids. And, the weather's starting to get warmer. So we're outside every single day in the yard or down at the beach. We're playing. And what typically happens is my back starts to go. Like right on the shoulder months of the summer, I always have like one major episode with my back. I'm limping around. I look like a question mark for a couple of days. I haven't experienced that in like 2 years. And it's because I've been wearing these arch supports from the Good Feet store. These are back savers. They're game changers. They're lifesavers. If you've been struggling with foot pain or ankle pain, knee, hip, or back pain, and you've been searching for the answers, you've been talking to orthopedic surgeons, you've been getting MRIs, you've been going to athletic trainers, you've been going to physical therapists, you've been going to see stretch people or whatever they call it, the active mobility people. You could probably save a lot of time and frankly, a lot of money in the long term if you go to the Good Feet store. It's a try before you buy experience. They slide these arch supports into whatever footwear you use for work or for play, and then you just leave. You leave, they check in on you a week later, and if you're not having the results you desire, you can go in there, they'll fix it for you. This is an incredible business. And when you buy Good Feet store, you buy local because they have a manufacturing plant right here in Carlsbad. This has changed my life. I'm hoping that for everybody else out there who's struggling with lower body joint pain, because I know how debilitating it can be. Check them out at goodfeet.com. That's goodfeet.com.
Stay connected with San Diego Sports 760 no matter where you are, whether you're stepping out of your car or settling in at home. Just command your Google or Alexa smart speaker to play AM 760 or use the free iHeartRadio app for seamless listening. It's like having your favorite station right in your pocket.
Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, we are giving away something. So if you want to win, you got to keep listening. Over the next 3 minutes, we'll make an announcement here. We've got plenty to give away. A pair of tickets to see the Marley Brothers, pair of tickets to see Charlie XCX. Also, Live Nation presents Concert Week. So we're going to be giving you opportunities to win these tickets all week long.
Yeah. Run for the hills.
LiveNation.com/Concert Week. If you want to grab some of these tickets, great sales going on right now. 75% off sale going on May 8th through 14th. 1 week to get $25 concert tickets, comedy tickets. Fill up your summer with shows. Okay, so TD controversy. You say you don't know. Well, listen, you say you don't like James Bond movies. A lot of people say, screw you, TD.
I've tried. They're just boring. Like Mission Impossible is so much cooler
That's true.
than James
I
Bond.
don't entirely disagree with that.
James
take.
Bond's just a little like sexier. That's
I
been
guess.
the whole thing, right?
Yeah, I guess. And I'm always, in when they're like, we're going to announce who the new James Bond is. And they announce them. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I don't know. I just don't care. Like, I've never been able to make it through a James Bond movie. Fall asleep.
The new ones are cool. The Daniel Craig ones have been awesome.
A lot of downtime. A lot of talky talk. Don't need that.
Yeah.
I want action.
Ana de Armas is in the newest one.
Yeah. Which, again, like if I passed her, I wouldn't know on the street. I wouldn't know it was her.
Okay.
trying to
Somebody
read at the
asked
same
on
time.
the text line, what would you prefer? Watching 5 James Bond movies back to back to back, or being stung on the bottom of your foot 5 times by a bee like Fletch?
Easy. This would be blue pill. 5 bee stings. Bring it.
Actually,
No,
Yeah.
what?
Oh
all you
God.
have to do is sit on the couch and watch. You could be on your phone.
The bee sting? It like hurts for like 30 minutes. It's done. You're gonna tie up my entire day watching James Bond movies? That would be awful. I'd feel so
I
unproductive.
had no idea how deep this hatred went.
Well,
Also,
if it's hatred, it's just boring.
Okay, but pain is, well, I mean, I guess in your case, the pain of a bee sting or 5 bee stings better than the boredom of watching James Bond.
Yeah. Oh man.
So the worst one, you guys, I didn't I wasn't here for this, but in the hallway, was it Tati who stopped you?
It was
Mm.
no. It was
About Beyonce?
No, about
50 Cent.
50 Cent.
Oh yeah.
Who was that?
Whatever.
Was that Erica? No, I always say
Okay,
Erica.
whatever. But they asked you how many questions.
Oh,
does
Angie.
50 Cent have?
Angie. Producer Angie.
And neither of you knew the answer to how many questions 50 Cent.
Oh
had.
no, Rich got it right.
I don't
No,
think
I said
so.
50.
Oh,
How
And
did
then
you not
we-
know it was 21 questions?
Well,
And
yeah,
it's
and
all about us.
We walked away, and I go, "Oh, it's 21 questions. Damn it!"
I don't
But
even
I
know what
brought that up
is.
to TD, and he's like, 50 Cent sucks.
Yeah, well, I mean, 50 Cent, like Into Club, the beginning of Into Club, dun, dun, super cool. But then it sucks. Like the song sucks after that. Like you have like 30, 40 seconds of cool.
It's your birthday.
Yeah. And then like whatever. It's over with.
It's your birthday.
But 21 questions, I don't even know what that is.
It's a song.
Wait, who was it again?
No, it's by 50
50
Cent.
Cent. Yeah.
Damn it.
I mean,
By
What-
Drake.
like
He's got
Drake,
21 questions.
Drake also sucks,
And
by
they
the way.
all, Drake doesn't suck.
Drake,
His old stuff is
Drake
way
has
better
like
than his new stuff.
2 decent songs, and then it sucks.
I just
Drake
think
sucks.
you have bad taste in music. Like,
No,
you
I
don't
have
like
the
Beyonce.
best taste. Beyonce's horrible. Beyonce is a joke. Beyonce is a joke. It's like a parody of a real singer.
It goes from
Awful.
It goes from bad to worse
No,
every time.
no,
It really does. Drake's got some hits, man.
Okay.
50 Cent? Are you kidding me?
No.
I think you just like all the old white guys that play banjo.
I mean, I like old white guys that play banjo, but I don't care.
What about
I just-
Lizzo?
Oh, I like Lizzo. Yeah.
Boom, clap the sound of
That's Charlie XCX, okay?
Which-
And if you want to win those tickets,
By the way.
yeah, she's great on banjo. So I hear. If you want to win those tickets, let's do it at 7:59. Okay, in 2 minutes. 877-767-4760. You're gonna call and you're gonna win those tickets. Okay. And you know what else you could win at is losing weight if you went to stfatloss.com.
Dang right.
You could win at losing 20 to 30 pounds in 8 weeks' time, and you'll win losing 20 to 30 pounds in 8 weeks' time by not exercising, by not counting points, by not counting calories, not doing any of the fad diets, the things that, you know, you might lose a couple pounds, but as soon as you stop the fad diet, boop, that's the sound of a yo-yo. And you want to stay away from the yo-yos. Okay. You'll yo-yo diet. You'll gain that weight right back. You'll gain more weight back. I promise you. You know why? Because I've done it. I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there. And I don't want to be there again. And you're not going to be there with
Never
SDFatLoss.com.
again.
They'll show you the healthy way to lose weight and then keep that weight off. And you know what? It's May 1st. It's May Day, baby. It's May Day. May Day, May Day. You don't have to make that call if you go to SDFatLoss.com because you're going to be on the up and up, okay? You're going to be looking good come summertime as the camera is jammed down the throat
Of a catfish. Just
It's fine.
tickling gills.
Yeah, tickling. And you know what? I'm looking at that catfish and I'm like, he could probably stand to lose 20 to 30 pounds in 8 weeks' time with SDFatLoss.com. And listen, Mr. Catfish, if you go to SDFatLoss.com and you sign up and you schedule your free consultation and you mention this show, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, you're going to save yourself $200. So do it right now. I mean, do it for your family, do it for your health, do it for yourself. SDFatLoss.com.
Hour 3, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. This update presented by Progressive Insurance. Starting off with the Pods, they get a win last night at home over the Reds 6-4. Manny Machado coming through with the bases loaded double to really bolster that win. Day game today against the Reds in the rubber match of the series. Joe Musgrove going to be on the mound for the Pods. Sticking with baseball, Angels often injured superstar Mike Trout. He's injured again. He's going to need surgery on a torn meniscus. He'll miss some significant time here. NBA playoffs, there were some games last night. Sixers survived the best one in overtime, 112-106 over the Knicks. Knicks still lead that series 3-2. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered. Visit progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE because it probably can be covered.
I was never good at making friends. Never could get a date for the dance. And I tried everything. I tried everything I could think of. And then I discovered buddy bands. And now, for only $3.95, my dance card is full.
Yeah! Welcome to your Wednesday edition of Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. Happy Wednesday to those who celebrate. Happy hump day to you all.
Mike.
We are best buddies. And so our new show open, Buddy Bands, really, it firms up that commitment we made to each other just over a year and a half ago.
Feels like this should be a Wednesday thing, maybe not an everyday thing.
Well, I feel good about this continuing from now till perpetuity. In perpetuity.
I agree with that. Until we're no longer buddies.
Yeah. Which, with these buddy bands,
I don't see any end to that.
Yeah, it's a circle, which it really does represent our relationship. So we covered a lot of ground today. A beekeeper getting to throw out the first pitch. Bee stings on the bottom of Fletch's feet.
Mm-hmm.
TD's hatred for 50 Cent.
What else?
Buddy bands.
Buddy bands. Hey, they work.
And buddy bands. Goodness.
Hey, they work.
They really do.
They get you friends.
You know how many more friends we have? Look, here's the thing. We may release Big Rich, TD, and Fletch buddy bands.
That'll be handmade by Big Rich, TD, and Fletch?
Yeah, they're just going to be rubber bands we find in the office that we write our names on and then we mail to you. But
what if we went to, Hobby Lobby and got ourselves a kit? Bead, string.
What if you did that?
We'd have so many friends.
The point is
you did that.
You want me to make all the buddy bands? Because that doesn't sound like something that a friend would put on another friend.
Yeah.
A friend would want to help out.
We're in this together.
Right.
Yeah.
So
and you are a buddy.
We
are a band of buddies who wears our buddy bands
for $3.95.
For $3.95. Honestly, let's charge everyone who listens to this show. Right now, we probably have a couple thousand people tuning in here in the 8 o'clock hour. Probably a little bit more than that now that I'm looking around at some of these numbers.
Couple million.
This is what you got to do.
Right.
You got to send us $3.95 and we will send you a buddy band.
That is a joke.
That's a joke. Do not send $3.95.
Do not send any money to this radio station.
Oh, guys, we need their money.
We don't.
All of the buddy bands.
No, I'm pretty sure that's against the law.
I know for a fact that's against the law.
Yeah. That was in jest.
Guys, I'm totally joking about the fact that we are definitely going to accept your cash. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. No, do not send your money. Here's what I do want you to do. What I do want you to do is buckle your seatbelt. We have red pill, blue pill. That's coming up. We also have another great giveaway. We gave away the Charlie Acee tickets. Those are going to be available again tomorrow, but we got the Marley Brothers coming to town in September. We're going to be giving away tickets to that. We spoke briefly about TD's Denver Broncos. Bo Nix looks to be the guy, as they will not pick up the 5th-year option on Zach Wilson's contract. But we got an opportunity to talk to Chargers beat writer Daniel Popper just a little bit ago. And before we get to the Padres game and some of the things that went on, we'll be talking with Kevin Acee in just a few minutes about it. He said something interesting. He said, it's still early with the Jim Harbaugh era. He goes, but you can already tell that there's been a major impact made. This is the first time the Chargers have invested in a head coach who was at the tippy top of the coaching carousel, vying for his services, who they paid a boatload of money in his contract to lure him away from a national championship winning Michigan football program. This was absolutely a departure from the normal business that the Chargers operate under. So to have Jim Harbaugh not only be with the Chargers, but also early indications are that this is working, I am a little bit shocked. I'm shocked that any or all of this is happening right now.
Can Jim Harbaugh remove chargering from the Chargers? If you were to ask me right now, I would say absolutely not. Like, that is something that is foundational. That is something ownership down. The Chargers will charger. They will always charger. Does Jim Harbaugh give them the best shot to not charger?
Well, that's the
Probably.
thing. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The Chargers always charger because Spanos always made some dumb decision. I mean, that's why they chargered. But Harbaugh wasn't a dumb decision. Harbaugh was the anti-charger charger.
So far.
Well, so far. I mean, this could all go south.
You asked a lot of people
unravel.
in the 49ers locker room when Jim Harbaugh was there, they might have a different tone to this. Like, he didn't work as an NFL head coach. I understand they got to a Super Bowl. They didn't win it.
Yeah, but prior to Jim Harbaugh going to the Chargers, there was rumor of it, and we all went, there is absolutely no possible way that they'll do that because the Chargers will charge her.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing that Daniel said, which I found interesting, was he was like, look, with the draft, with Tom Telesco running the drafts, the Chargers often reached on picks, and he cited a couple of different times where, whether it be due to injury history or just performance.
Mike Williams.
Yeah, well, there were a lot of questionable picks at the top of the draft, and those are the potentially highest value players to your franchise. And there were some real swings and misses. And don't get me wrong, I think Tom Telesco is a pretty good general manager. I don't blame the roster or his construction of the roster overall for the problems the Chargers had through the Anthony Lynn era and the Brandon Staley era. But I will say, like, there were some really questionable draft picks. This year, I didn't question a single one of them. I mean, from both a need standpoint, but also a value standpoint. I mean, with the first rattle out of the box, the best tackle off the board, a monster from Notre Dame with a pedigree. His father played in the NFL, Joe Alt. I mean, this felt like a good selection for the Chargers, and then it only got better from there. So you look at the value they got at each of these draft picks. Now, we don't know how they're going to play in the NFL. We have zero idea of where these guys project until they actually start playing football for real. But just in terms of like looking at a draft, checking boxes in terms of need, and not reaching for prospects or players, they did a good job. So it's weird to be speaking of the Chargers positively, especially after a regime change, because typically there's a lot of questions with Jim Harbaugh and the way they went about this draft. A lot of questions feel like they were answered.
Yeah, no. Oh, whoa. We're going right into red pill, blue pill?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we usually do a halftime.
Oh, yeah, huh?
Yeah.
Do we want to do the halftime then red pill, blue pill?
Yeah,
I kind of feel like we should.
Okay.
That's usually the way we do it. So want to
Well, we're just buddies.
take down that salsa?
I see a bunch of guys playing with their technique and fundamentals.
It's halftime. All right, TD, what do you got for us?
What I got for us is the Padres breaking their 5-game losing streak yesterday. Woo! Yeah, they beat the Reds 6-4. They've now logged game 1 of a 130-game winning streak. They're going to win the rest. Flesh. They play again today, 1:10 p.m. Guys, Travis and Taylor, they are a real couple.
What?
Yeah, okay, check it out. So Travis Kelce, he was at an event out in Las Vegas for Patrick Mahomes. He was up on stage. He yells out, "Viva Las Vegas!" Probably a little bit drunk on stage, right?
That makes sense.
Now, as he did that, Taylor Swift turns to a friend and says something. Nobody knows what she says, except for celebrity lip reader on TikTok, who looks at it and said, I know exactly what she says. She says, "That again, I can't do it."
Real couple.
They're going to get married. They're going to get married. This is the real deal. In the NBA yesterday, the 76ers, Gia Macareno, the Dominics, 112-106 in overtime.
I like it.
That's pretty good.
Milwaukee boarded the Pacers, 115-92, and the Cavs carpet rided the Magic, 104-103.
Oh, my gosh.
What?
Oh, I guess it's an Aladdin throwback.
It's a magic carpet ride.
Hang on a second. Keyboarded? What?
Milwaukee.
No,
Keyboard.
okay. All right.
I actually thought those were perfect.
All right.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, I did too.
Okay.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Fair enough.
Most of them suck.
Yeah, well, not all of them.
What? Are you kidding me?
If we were to put a batting average on you, you're somewhere around the 250s.
You know what? Take off your buddy band. How dare you?
Are you outside of your mind?
The 250 feels about right. Today you were 3 for 3.
Well, listen, to me, that sounds like improvement. To me, it sounds like the start of a 130-game win streak. Just like the Padres, who will be a part of Red Pill, Blue Pill here as we move on a Wednesday. We always play Red Pill, Blue Pill. And speaking of which, Red Pill, take money out of the equation. Okay? Red Pill. Bo Nix is your quarterback for the next 5 years. Blue Pill. Russell Wilson is your quarterback for the next 5 years. Money is no object. Take money off the table. Bo Nix or Russell Wilson.
Are we picking a team? Like, is it in Denver still?
Well, it
just doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. It's just your quarterback, the guy you're throwing in. You say you're a GM, you're starting a brand new team, you need a quarterback, and somehow both of these quarterbacks are available for the next 5 years, and you're going to pay them the same.
I mean, this is actually kind of tough.
See?
You've seen Russell Wilson. You've seen what happened in Denver. But for whatever reason, Russell Wilson getting out of Denver almost feels like there could be a change back to old Russell Wilson, and it could actually work. But I'm a Denver Bronco fan, and I've been burned. So I guess I'll just go Bo Nix, and guess what? He'll probably suck.
Red Pill Bo Nix for TD. What about you, Fletch?
Red Pill, Bo Nix. We're not winning a Super Bowl anytime soon with either of these options, but I think Bo Nix at least gives you some fresh life and less cringe. We'll see. Maybe Bo Nix is like a Subway sandwich guy.
I hope so. I hope so. I hope he brings back Quiznos.
Oh my God, that would be great. Can you imagine?
Bozos.
Oh, that's the name of the new sandwich, the Bozo at Quiznos. It's really spicy. I'm going with Russell Wilson.
Wow.
Why?
Because he's not a bad quarterback. The Denver Broncos were a bad team.
I have 2 years of film to show you otherwise.
He's not a bad quarterback. I'll tell you what, a bad quarterback in this league is Zach Wilson. That's what a bad quarterback looks like. Russell Wilson, at very least, is competent. At very most, is good. He's not bad, though. Bo Nix, we have no idea. So if I'm going to hitch my wagon to someone, equal amount of money for the next 5 years, it's going to go with the commodity I know can lead and run a team. And I don't know if he's going to last a full 5 years, but at least I know what I'm getting with Russell Wilson. Okay, we move on. Red Pill. The Padres go on a 20-game win streak. However, they lose one of their stars on this team.
Ooh.
So
do we get to pick the star?
You need to say which star it is.
No, I'm not going to say which star
if
it
it's
is.
Xander Bogaerts, that might actually help.
Because I'm not putting that evil on any of these guys. But Blue Pill, you just roll the dice. You see where the season goes. But they can get on a 20-game run. I mean, think about where that leaves.
Yeah, you take the 20-game run.
Yeah,
no matter who the star is.
No matter who the star is?
A 20-game run starting right now,
Yep.
you know where that sets them up? They would have to try so hard to miss the playoffs at that point.
Okay. What do you say, TD?
Yeah, but you're into the playoffs without your star.
A star. We don't know which one it is. It could be Yu Darvish, which that would suck, but you can overcome that, right? It could be Manny Machado. Well, he's kind of only half-assing it right now anyways between the injury and not being fully healthy yet, and he's only hitting really.
I think I'd go Red Pill as well. I think I'd take the 20-game win streak.
A 20-game win streak.
Yeah, that's a lot of wins cranked off.
Right now, they're oh no, I'm pretty.
What the A's did like 22?
They'd be 17 over 500.
Yeah, so if you think about it, right now they're 13-15, I think is their record. If they rack off 20 games in a row, all of a sudden they're 33-15. I mean, that's a playoff-bound team. It's a guarantee. So, yeah, I think we're all taking the red pill here.
Yeah, in 1916, a team when the Giants, which I think they were still the New York Giants at that point, they won 26 games in a row.
Yeah.
But that's the record. But the A's, what they do in like 2001,
I think they were over 20
They're
games,
15 and 18. They'd be 35 and 18.
35 and 18.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah, red pill.
So they'd also be number one.
So yeah,
in history.
Very curious who the star would be. Like imagine like Hassan Kim just goes on a tear. We're like, no!
Dude, none of the stars are really playing well anyways at this point. Like Fernando Tatis Jr. has been in a slump. Manny Machado slump. They both had doubles yesterday, but
Okay. Try to guess who wrote this red pill, blue pill.
TD, I don't even have to read.
Okay.
What?
You get one mode of transportation for the rest of your life. Red pill, donkey. Blue pill, giraffe. I mean, this is so easy for me. I know
It's
I'm not
actually easy for me.
I know I'm
Same.
not getting around fast, and I'm probably not getting to where I want to go, but I am riding the hell out of a giraffe.
Oh wow.
100%.
No, not me. Red
Blue
pill.
pill.
Oh no, I want the donkey all day long because I think they're funny.
No, giraffes are funny. Giraffes legitimately look like aliens.
Dude,
Well,
giraffes.
like you could reach a lot of things if you ride around a giraffe.
So I met a giraffe named Jeffrey or Joffrey.
Wait,
Um,
from Toys R Us?
I was at a wedding in Malibu, and it was at a farm. It was this outdoor venue. It was gorgeous. There was a giraffe at this Malibu farm, and we could feed him at the wedding. So I was walking up to him with, I don't know if we were allowed to, but I gave him wedding cake. I walked up to I gave him everything. And then somebody actually said, I think that giraffe might be diabetic. And I was like, oh, whoops the
I
doodles.
think they're supposed to eat like leaves.
Dude,
You
he
might have
was
messed up.
very into the icing. And they do have giant black tongues. It was
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, because they like grab leaves.
I might have a picture
Yeah.
of me with Jeffrey. Hang on a second. I'm gonna
Did,
pull this up.
did-
Giraffes are freaking cool, though, dude.
What do they have to do to bend down to get the cake? I guess it's just like I'm at the zoo, huh? They
Well,
just
when you're
lean
at the
through.
zoo, you're kind of on an elevated platform when
dude,
you reach
yeah.
your hand through to feed them.
Here
Oh,
I am.
wow.
That's
There you
me
are
and
with-
Jeffrey.
Look at that!
Dude, he was licking my face.
Wow,
Yeah, there's Annie.
wow.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
mean, this is a random giraffe.
yeah. No, it's out of Malibu Farm. Well,
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
I don't even know if he's still alive.
I mean,
That was
Yeah,
me.
you gave him cake.
how do you think cake would kill a giraffe? I don't think so. Maybe if it was just like hundreds of pounds of
It's my
cake.
buddy. I was so worried I was going to get bit in this picture.
I
Yeah.
don't think giraffes bite.
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. It
Do they
bit the
not?
hell out of that cake. I'll tell you that much. So definitely riding the giraffe. Okay, last red pill, blue pill for the day. Okay, anytime you want. I mean, anytime you want. This is your red pill choice. A perfectly cooked steak of your choosing will magically appear on a plate in front of you anytime you want.
Mhm, mhm.
Blue pill, you'll never have to wait in another line again. So red pill, you get a perfectly cooked steak. I mean, you could picture any of the best steaks you've ever had in your life.
and it changes at any time. Like anytime, anyone you want.
Boom, right there. You want A5 Wagyu? It's right there in front of you.
Gosh, I mean, it's pretty good.
You want something from Smith and Wolinski's? You want something from the Remy?
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
Just bang.
Little cowboy cut.
All you have to do is think about it.
That's it.
This
Or-
is tricky because I think I equally love like a really good steak how much I equally hate standing in line places.
Yeah.
I think I'm taking blue pill here. I'm going to jump in first. So as much as I love steak, I really do enjoy the process of cooking my own steak. And also, I feel like the allure of steak will pass much sooner than the allure of skipping every line. How cool do you feel when there's a long line of people and somebody goes, you're coming with me, and you skip the whole line?
Yeah.
It is the best feeling.
Yeah.
It is, especially when are you with Travis Dale's group?
Dude, yeah, this guy
It happens all the
when
time.
we go down to the gas lamp, we don't wait in line.
No.
Not with TD, not with Travis Dale.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same as Rich. Red pill, or which one's blue pill?
Blue pill,
pill.
never
I'm
line.
never waiting in line.
You know what? I would go blue pill too. F them lines. Yeah.
Like think about the DMV.
Oh God.
Never have to sit in another DMV line. Airport lines, security lines,
perfect.
pass through all
I
those.
was thinking Disneyland.
Starbucks.
Ooh,
Disneyland.
Starbucks. Oh, that works too. Like if I'm going to the drive-through, I guess.
Yeah,
they got to get out of the way.
Zoop, you're right to the front of
You know,
that
like how
Chick-fil-A
many
line.
times in my life I've decided not to get in and out because the line is around the parking lot.
Oh, I didn't think
Never
about
happening
that.
You're
again.
over
I
at
didn't think about
Chick-fil-A,
that.
They're gonna be like, my pleasure. I'm gonna be like, no, actually, it's mine.
You're just
See you later, losers.
beep.
See ya.
Mhm.
All right. Coming up next, we got to get into the Padres. The win streak starts today. How many games are they going to win in a row, Travis Dale?
130.
130 games.
It's have
In a row.
129 more to go.
Only,
Yeah,
check
that's
it
it.
out. A win streak of 130. Guess where it starts? With one win.
That's right. How do you eat an elephant?
I don't know.
One bite at a time.
Oh, jeez. Hang on. Everybody turn your mics off. because
That's
where
how I would do it.
That's where I would start.
Because it's the softest, or like that'd be the hardest part to get through.
Well, I think it's because
mentally.
Guys, I want to talk to you about my dentist, Dr. Jordan Colby.
Speaking of eating.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't be able to eat anything if it weren't for these great teeth that I have now. I needed 3 implants put in. And I was told by my former dentist, he was like, look, this is going to take 18 months. He goes, it's going to be a pretty arduous journey for you. But first, it starts over at this place where you're going to get your dental x-rays done. And then you got to come back here. I'm going to look at them. Then I'm going to refer you out to the oral surgeon. And then you got to go see an endodontist or whatever. I forget the names of all the people I had to see. It was ridiculous, though. And it was going to cost a fortune. And I was going to be driving all around and setting all these appointments and probably forgetting some of them. It was a nightmare. And then I was talking out loud about all of this that I had to do coming up at some point because I was delaying the inevitable. And somebody here at iHeart San Diego said, no. You need to talk to my dentist, Dr. Jordan Colby. And so all of a sudden, Dr. Jordan Colby became my dentist because I walked into his office where they have all the latest dental advancements, all the technology that he needs to get all of that work done in the same office. I went to one office for this procedure. Instead of taking 18 months, it took 3 months. Instead of costing me a fortune, it cost me less because everything was in one office. You understand? I didn't have a bunch of different places reaching into my pockets. There was one bill. I paid that bill. I moved on with my life. And since this, I've had great results. I could chew my food. I can smile with confidence. And that's his motto. He can deliver you a healthy smile, oftentimes in just one day. Dr. Jordan Colby is the best dentist I've ever met. You don't realize the value of a great dentist until you got one. And I have one, and I want you to have one too. It's oceanviewdental.net. Check them out at oceanviewdental.net.
Yep, we've got a liner to read, and we've got giveaways to do. But Ben Fletcher has those liners, so we'll tell you about them right now. Right, Ben Fletcher?
I was going to say Kevin Acee coming up next, San Diego Sports 760, because we already did all our liners. This update is presented by Progressive Insurance. Starting off with the Pods, they got a win last night. Kevin Acee is going to be joining the show to talk about those Padres in just a minute. Sticking with baseball, Angel superstar Mike Trout, surgery again on torn meniscus. He's going to miss quite a bit of time here. NBA playoffs last night. Sixers survive in overtime. They get a 112-106 win over the Knicks. Knicks lead that series 3-2. At Progressive, they're making things easier. They'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save money on both. Learn more at Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. Again, that's Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Yeah, our best friend in the whole wide world, Mr. Kevin Acee, going to be joining us here in just a minute as we break down the Padres. What's new? What's the latest? Are they actually good? Are they going to go on a 130-game win streak like we are predicting that they will? Look, the Padres, they needed to win yesterday. They had to stop the slide. They had to stop the bleeding, and they did. So they pulled out exactly what they needed to do. So hats off to them. Manny Machado put in a great situation by Mike Shildt, who decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and load these bases up for Manny to come out and hit a double, clear the bases, bring in some runs, and he did. And look, the Padres did everything they were supposed to do. That's it. They did everything they were supposed to do. Now they have to do it again. So just one more time, no big deal. By the way, Live Nation presents Concert Week coming up on the show today. For your chance to win a pair of tickets to Iron Maiden at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater on October 4th. Concert Week almost here. $25 tickets to over 5,000 shows. That's up to 75% off, on sale May 8th through the 14th. 1 week to get $25 concert and comedy tickets and fill your summer with shows. To get your tickets, go to livenation.com/concert week. As we are still waiting here, we have our friend. We got thumbs up. There he is, our best friend in the whole wide world. You know him very well, a writer for the UT, our Padre insider, Mr. Kevin Acee. Kevin, how are you this morning?
I'm good. Not like you really care, but I'm good.
Whoa. Actually, we care more about how you're doing than just about anything else we've done today this morning.
And I care about more how you're doing than how I'm doing, Kevin.
Also, we have a new show open.
Mm-hmm.
So what we talk about for usually the first 5 minutes at the top of every hour now are buddy bands. So what they are friendship bracelets before Taylor Swift made them cool.
Right.
They were first for sale, I believe, at Bayside High.
That's correct.
On the hit show Saved by the Bell. So we're going to get back into the buddy band business. Two things. Do you want to be an early investor? Second thing, do you want a buddy band, even if you're not an investor, because you are our best buddy?
Both.
Okay. All right.
We're going to
start put Kevin down for $45,000.
We are. Possibly you.
Anything that came from like Zach and Kelly and Slater, gold in 2024.
That's right. Right.
No
Can we just get buddy bands? Hey, they work. Can we just pull that part up? Because it's good.
I think we need to hear just the last part.
Yeah,
because
just the very
honestly,
last
if you
of
need
Acee Slater.
a sales pitch.
Right.
Buddy bands.
Buddy bands. Hey, they work.
You know what? Just like the Padres, Kevin. Hey, they work. I mean, did you see Mike Shildt? The utter confidence he had in Manny Machado. He says, oh, what's that? We could go up 2-0 in the 5th. Screw you, ump. Send him back to 3rd. Manny, get out there, bub. It just ropes the double, no big deal, clears the bases. Well, that's Machado. That's the Machado we've come to know and believe in.
Right.
We were talking about the 130-game streak they're about to go on, Kevin. It does start with one win, correct?
It has to. There's no way to deny it at this point.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
Could become 2. Yeah. Like, I mean.
Right. No, I'm with you. You know what? So we honestly joke around about a 130-game win streak. I mean, it may or may not happen. But Kevin, when you're looking at this Padre team, and I'm looking at this Padre team,
I am so sorry. I just have to interject for a second. While we're talking to you, Kevin, if we sound a little distracted, it's because we are watching Catfish Noodling again today on the show. And they just yanked, when I say a river monster, out of this murky depth.
Are you talking about that guy's butt crack?
Do you see? Hang on. Do you see? He was just like swatting at this catfish's tail.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's nice. I think this is a Funyun ad.
Holy
wow,
smokes,
there's
yeah.
a lot happening,
Anyways,
Kevin.
TD, what were you saying?
I was just saying, when you're looking at this Padre team, does it kind of feel like they're the same team as last season?
Yeah, gosh, I hate to say it because like I'm fighting against that because I don't know, because it's the narrative and because, you know, we all kind of went into it and I'm a big believer in that that none of us are aware of the biases look at things at, right? And so we all endured this last year. And so we were holding that against 2024 Padres, whether we know it or not. And so that everything that happened that was somewhat reminiscent of 2023, we're like, yeah, see, it's the same team. And so I've really been fighting against that and trying to be discerning. But the fact is, like, yeah, there is a lot of spillover and there's some of the same guys and some of the same things are happening. And I find myself going, are you kidding? Like, I gotta write about this again. And, you know, like this is happening again. Yes, absolutely. Now, I mean, I guess you could just as fairly say here, like, so Manny Machado had not been very good with runners in scoring position, so now he has 2 hits in a row, or no, because he lined out with the first, but he has like 2 hits in the last 2 nights with runners in scoring position that you know that brought in runs and you know, so okay, so in 2 weeks are we gonna, and he's hot, are we gonna say, hey, this is like the 2022 team? You know, like, yeah, it sort of is. The answer to your question, yes, I've spent a lot of time thinking about it. On the other hand, well, yeah, I mean, there are similar characteristics to teams that suck, and there's similar characteristics to teams that are winning a lot, especially if they have the same players.
It seems to me, Kev, that there is an extremely low ceiling for this team. If Jurickson Profar is your best offensive player, which it sure feels like he has been through the early part of this season, what are we, like a fifth of the way through the year? Jurickson Profar cannot be your MVP if you want this team to be a good team. Would you agree with that statement?
Yeah, you know, for all the catfish noodling and all the other stuff that goes on this show, right?
Mhm.
Like, you guys have lately just kind of been hitting right at the core of the things that are so, like, good for you. It must be you, Ben. It must be you that has kind of reined things in and kept it kind of like on a serious note here. Kudos to you.
I just
Clearly.
read
No one
really
else.
smart writers throughout San Diego, one of them being Dennis Lin. Get it, Kevin.
Yeah.
Get it,
Wow,
get it, Kevin.
wow.
Kevin.
Wow.
Shots
Wow.
Well,
fired.
that
Wow.
must not take you. That must not take you very long because he doesn't write very often. but you guys are hitting at the things that you know. Right now, I'm kind of focused on. We got an off day tomorrow, and the fact is, yeah, Cooper cannot be your best player. Like, yeah, that's great that Jurickson Profar is doing so well. Guys were doing like even slightly better, right? It's the same thing about bottom of the order, right? Like at one point, not recently, but at one point, the bottom of the order was kind of carrying this team. And while the bottom of the order's numbers were good, cool, but sorry, no team ever has won that way.
Kevin Acee joining us, our very best friend, beat writer, UT, very, very active in his writing. I mean, this guy, literally, it's something every single day, whether it's the newsletter or it's the articles that are available at San Diego Union Tribune.com. I mean, this guy is on the beat, as they say.
Oh, whoa.
Kevin Acee, I have a question for you. Oh, wait, what is it? What's going on?
I found on YouTube people posting videos, they're catfish noodling out in Ramona.
Okay.
Kevin, we could set up a noodling trip.
I'm going to ask you this. Kevin. Like, say I was setting up a noodling trip, right? And say,
God, it looks like Blair Witch Project.
And say we had a lot of really good noodlers on this boat, right? And say we were like in Ramona, we're hanging out, and you were on the shore just taking note of all the noodling happening out on this boat.
Yeah, right.
Now, say like we had a guy on this noodling trip who was paid like a big contract, and he was one of the first big contracts we signed on this boat.
I like this.
Okay. And say this noodler, he was like one of those guys who the original owner, who unfortunately the owner of the boat passed away recently. Rest in peace. Everybody's
but we still got his boat.
Yeah, we still got his boat. And listen, we miss him dearly, but you got to move on with the noodling, right? But he really liked this one noodler, and he's supposed to be like the leader of the noodle boat. And we jump into the river and we're all noodling and things are going bad. Is that noodler I'm speaking about the guy that everybody turns to be the leader? Like, in the boat, like when nobody else is watching, nobody else is talking, or are the other noodlers like kind of just secretly annoyed by that noodler and all the success and money and the fact that he doesn't contribute as a great leader? Like, what would you say about that noodler?
I think I'm following, but there's just so much distraction to do with the noodling. Because I don't know what noodling is. And B, there's there's people in the river, and I'm confused.
Right.
So noodling is when you're fishing for catfish, but you don't have a fishing pole, but you got your arm.
Yeah, just use your arm.
You just
Holy
jam,
crap!
You just jam your arm down like a muddy hole, and then a catfish just bites onto your hand. You got to wiggle your fingers around so they think it's something to eat.
All right, and maybe I'll make it a little bit easier. Like maybe this noodler I'm talking about, maybe he goes by Danny Luciano. Like maybe it's Danny.
Why?
Like his name's Danny Luciano, and he's like a really good noodler.
And like there's been times where he's been a hell of a noodler.
Oh man, he noodles with the best of them, and he's noodled other places too. But now it looks like he's gonna be noodling on this boat for a long time, maybe for the rest of his noodling career. But
but why do they call it noodling?
See, I think it's because you wiggle your fingers like noodles.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the catfish are like, oh my God, we love noodles. They like catfish. If you bring them to a Chinese buffet, the lo mein is gone.
Yeah. Hey, Kevin's picking on you guys. He's delaying because he knows you'll stick to the noodling. Kevin, answer the question.
Yeah. So like if Danny Luciano, great noodler.
Like, oh, wait. Whoa. Check this out. Some suggest that catfish are as slippery as noodles.
Jesus, hang on.
Other people say it's because they wiggle their fingers around to catch fish, making their fingers look like noodles.
Also, if you ever see catfish, you know exactly why they call them catfish, because they really actually have whiskers.
Yeah,
but listen,
Kevin just noodled both of you.
What? He really did. He wiggled his fingers and we bit.
It's the former. It's that they're slippery. Because if you think about, and no offense to anyone in Ramona or anywhere actually, the way you talk is fine. It's the way you talk. But if you think about the kind of people that catfish, that's something they'd say. That sucker was slippery as a noodle.
Would you argue that famous noodler Danny Luciano isn't the leader that this boat thought they were signing at signing?
Get this down. Let's get this down. Let's get on this as Fletch would want us to do. Why are we talking about this? My question to you. We've addressed the Danny Luciano leadership before when like the boat was freaking cruising along. So why? I just am curious why, because there was a 5-game losing streak. Like, why are we talking about Danny Luciano?
Okay, hang on. I'll tell you why. Because this boat is tied to Luciano, and that boat is either going to listen. It's either going to move faster or it's going to feel like a barnacle. It's either going to.
Here's what I'm going to say to you.
Go ahead.
They signed Danny Luciano to noodle the heck out of the noodling. Okay, they signed Manny to hit better than he's hit over the last year plus.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That's right.
And all is well in the world. Okay. So many things fall into place. Victory is number one. Couldn't have made this point clearer last year about how in 2022, all the drama, right? Now I'm branching out to the former manager and the current general manager and everything. That it was there, man. And then they started winning and it fixed everything. Okay. I would wager, and this is based on experience, personal experience, and hearing about other situations and just knowing that really there's not all that much difference in life, that a bunch of World Series winning teams were close to cracking at some point in their season, perhaps. Okay. Like, not all of them. A lot of them is kumbaya all year. But like, and so I'm just saying, like, other stuff, like, team good enough to win, and if they win, then like we don't need to talk about any of this other stuff. Now, in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months, maybe we're talking about it again because it's a thing. But like, number one, Xander Bogaerts, Fernando Tatis Jr., Manny Machado, they have to hit better.
Weird. You're
Listen,
talking about baseball?
yeah,
I lost my.
You jumped to Padres. We were talking about Danny Luciano and his noodling boat. Listen, I guess that's all the time we have with Kevin Acee. We wanted to talk noodling, but whatever. I mean, okay, you take it wherever you want, Kev. It's your world. We're just living in it. All right, Kevin Acee, beat writer for the Padres. Apparently wants to avoid the tough questions about noodling.
Our buddy, and we love you.
We love you, Kevin.
Love you guys. Bye.
Yes, let's do it.
Yes.
Look, we love Kevin, but we know him to be a coward. He will dodge the tough questions about noodling, and he always has. He always will.
That's right.
One of these days, though, he'll crack.
He was playing you guys like a fiddle.
Oh, come on now.
But we got it out of it.
Hey, we got tickets to give away.
Yeah,
Okay. And I feel like there's something to talk about here. Oh, yeah, there is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Tell you right now, I used to go noodling. I used to pull up 40-pound catfishes. And you know what I would do with those catfish fillets? I'd fry them, and I'd eat them.
Yeah.
I'd eat them in bunches.
Yeah, right.
I had no problem. Tartar sauce.
Ooh.
I'd throw them on a catfish po' boy.
Man.
I was down in probably 18, 19 po' boys a day.
It's not good for you. Turns out that is that a fad diet?
Well, actually, yeah, it's called the catfish diet.
Okay.
And I was gaining tremendous amounts of weight on the catfish diet. And I'll tell you what, results may vary. For me, 27 pounds in 1 month.
Wow.
But then,
and you only ate 20 pounds of catfish.
yeah, that's all.
Crazy.
It's all it took. Yeah, I guess it was the grease or the
Yeah.
fat. I don't know. Look, the point is, and then I met Wayne and Chloe at scfatloss.com, and that's when things changed for the better. So if you're like me and you filled up on catfish during the winter months, and you're seeing the spring now, and the thaw, and the summer's coming, and you're starting to think like, whoa, I got to get in a bathing suit pretty soon here. We're getting warm weekend days. People are getting out on boats. People are getting out to the beach.
Yeah, because like if you were on a dating site, you don't want to do?
What's that?
Get catfished.
No.
That's right.
And trust me, a lot easier to get catfish.
Take a laugh.
if you're not doing the right thing with scfatloss.com, right?
Yeah.
Because you're going to be more susceptible to things, right? You know, all these fad diets, the yo-yo dieting that occurred, injections, drugs.
Yeah.
Right. Stay away from drugs. Things that are going to make you lose weight really quick, and then all of a sudden you gain it all back. How about this? You ever count points or calories? You ever get on a weird meal plan? You ever drink those protein shakes? Nobody wants that. And you don't do that with scfatloss.com. You lose weight the natural way. So check them out at scfatloss.com. This show, talking about the three of us, we've lost over 115 pounds together with scfatloss.com. You've drawn a diagram. What is this?
That is a yo-yo. There's a circle and a line through it.
Yeah.
No yo-yos.
No yo-yos.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Those yo-yos busted.
Yeah. Look at that, YouTube.
Yeah. Check that out live on the stream. scfatloss.com. Come. We are giving away Iron Maiden tickets right now. Caller number 5 at 877-767-4760. Caller number 5 wins them. All right. Well, listen, we've got a pair of tickets to go see the Marley Brothers as well. Do you want to do that right now?
Yeah, I mean, sure.
We got time.
Yeah, we got all kinds of time.
Don't.
Okay.
All right. Well, how about this? At 8:57, if you're caller number 7 at 877-767-4760, you're going to get Marley Brothers tickets. And who do we think?
Kevin Acee, Daniel Popper, Roadies, Dogs, Hangers, Bangers. Bye.
The Herd's next.